Welcome to Journey Through the Gate, your paranormal portal podcast, as we delve into the many questions and wonders brought on by the supernatural experience. What's on the other side of the gate? Let's find out together. Happy Halloween, all my wonderful ghouls out there. We are so excited tonight because we've been talking about this Halloween night for a long time. So we have some surprises. We have some spooky ones and some happy ones and some I don't know ones because people are coming in and telling me they got surprises. So here we go. I've got my popcorn. I've got my candles. I've got my sage. We're blowing smoke your way. Okay? Don't forget to put the light out there tonight. We need lots of that light tonight. So tonight, as my ghost host, I have for you the lovely, the wonderful, the bubbly and effervescent Laura. Come on in here, sweetheart.
That's a hell of an intro.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween. Jilly Doon, how you doing? Anna, Grey Wolf, Jackie, Melissa, Blue Heron, how are y'all doing? You want to say hi to some of these wonderful people, Laura? Can you see the chat?
Oh, yep. Mairead, Andrew, and Edna. I was trying to find her but on Facebook to invite her in, but I don't know where she's at.
I'm so glad. So listen, there is a link up here, guys. Let me see if I can grab it again. One of my wonderful mods is sitting here. So I'm going to... Mods, do you have that link? I think you do. I sent it to you, Jackie. I sent it to as many people as I could. Patreon, I sent it to you. If you could pop the link in there. Look, the rules are simple. There really isn't any, except if you want to come in and you want to give a video call to tell a ghost story, say hi and happy birthday to a special guest that we have on with us tonight, please do so. And let's see what happens, okay? Donnie, how you doing? Slow. All right, I'm going to miss a couple people. Andrew, Jeanette, how you doing, sweetie? Happy Halloween to everybody. Now, I hope you got your candy. Your trick-or-treaters are at your door or coming because you're all around the world, so who's to say? I don't even know if it's Halloween where you are right now. But right now on this show, it's Halloween, All Hallows Eve. So, Laura, would you like to introduce our birthday boy?
Oh, well, here he is.
Here he is. I'm trying to get a chance to eat popcorn. And here he is. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please. Mr. Steve Stockton. Now listen, the storyteller, the author, raconteuse, and my buddy, my pal, my friend, Mr. Steve Stockton. Happy birthday, darling.
Hey. Thanks for having me in, everybody. There we go. I hope I don't give anybody a seizure with that.
Oh, man. Thanks, everybody. Okay, listen. We have got another beautiful woman in here. She's dressed as the Fae. She's just about as magical. She gets an extra boot of magic because she's a Jersey girl just like me, and we take no shite. Isn't that correct, Miss Gemma J? Come on in.
Hey, Gemma.
That is absolutely correct. Blue Heron is also a fellow Jersey girl.
Hey, Blue. Nice.
And you have given me the courage to eat a Butterfinger on screen, which I'm trying to chew right now.
Well, just don't go for the Milky Way because my teeth get stuck. You know,
that's the Butterfinger thing with me. You know, I
Yeah.
want to say Happy birthday to Steve. Laura, you look absolutely beautiful. I love the costume.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Cisco, you look amazing.
Thank you.
There's something I have to do really quick.
Go right ahead. I know you only have a short amount of time, Gemma. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sick. I have a pretty high fever right
God
now.
bless you.
I wasn't going to miss Steve's birthday. But a few of the subscribers asked me to do this, so my throat is messed up, but I'm going to do it anyway. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Stockton. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Feel like JFK.
I had to do it Maryland style. They asked me,
just
guys,
hope my head
so
doesn't
boop,
explode.
do.
That's what
That's
I felt
wonderful.
like saying after that, right?
With a sore throat and everything else. God bless you, Gemma. Prayers for Gemma tonight, you guys. She doesn't feel well, and I would also like very much for the chat. On a serious note, probably the only one we're going to have tonight. My sister is in the emergency room. She has internal bleeding, and she's having heart issues on top of it. So, if you wouldn't mind, send up a prayer for Dee. That's D.E., my sister, and I appreciate all of the positive energy and light her way. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it, chat.
Prayers for D.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Cisco, I sent you a message on Facebook.
Okay, let me see what I got. All right, listen, I'll tell you what. Gemma, you're welcome to stay with us. I am going to do a real quick, we've got a couple little video gifts here that we've done. Laura and I worked on and been pulling some stuff out. So we've got some, as some of you may know, Steve loves, what's the word, Steve, for paper collecting?
Ephemera.
Ephemera and vintage especially. We are absolutely enamored with vintage Halloween decorations, Halloween everything vintage. So we were digging around, trying to find some fun stuff for tonight. So thank you guys for all the prayers. Thank you so much. I truly believe that it makes all the difference in the world. So whatever your source is, please send it her way. She's a dear woman who has done more for humanity than most people I know. So thank you for that. Little quick video, pop in just to watch, just for some fun. Let's kick this mule, right, Steve?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go.
Start it.
Happy Halloween.
Toys, I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Ooh, and I'm addicted to fuss and fight and never say their prayers at night.
We just finish every day. Or you can't go out and play.
I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm a snooky, spooky, earwig, gilwig, ghost.
They just don't make them like that anymore, do they?
Is that machine gun fire there toward the end?
I think they were beating up on something. Okay. That was 1923, I'm a Ghost. And the reason I had to pull a song from back that far is so I wouldn't get copyright booted by the YouTube villains out there. So there you go. There was an awful lot of these kind of novelty songs. Monster Mash, of course, was another one in the 60s. Tonight, everything we're going to focus around 1963, which is when Steve was born. I was in 62, so I remember a lot of these things. I remember a lot of these commercials and shows and things we're going to do clips of throughout the night, and I hope it brings back memories for you guys, too. We've got a lot of people popping in and out. Now, before you go, Gemma, do you have a ghost story you'd like to share with us?
I was actually thinking about that, and I'm going to hang out for a little bit longer, but I think I'm going to think of one for you all and just tell you something nice and spooky tonight before I end out.
Okay. How about you, Steve? Do you want to start us off with a little something?
Trying to think what would be a good one for tonight.
I'm going to save mine.
Remember one year when I was a kid, around Halloween, My best friend John, he had older sisters. They were old enough to drive, and we were just like maybe 12 or 13. And they took us out to a place where a guy on a motorcycle had drove it through a barbed wire fence and lost his head. And found the body, they found the motorcycle, they never found the head.
Oh
And it
my
was
God.
said that if you go out to this place, it was a little, there's a pasture or something there, but there was a dirt road beside it. If you went out there to where that pasture was, and then you backed all the way to the end of dirt road and sat there with your, I think your brake lights and your backup lights on, you could see the guy's head in the bushes there. So we went, a bunch of giggly teenage girls, one of them driving, and then two 12-year-old boys in the back. And backed up, it's probably like a quarter mile, half mile or something, a long way back up this little narrow goat path of a dirt road in there. And sure enough, when we got back there and they did whatever it was, you had to honk your horn and do this and do that, and this little flurry of activity. Sure enough, there was something behind the car in the weeds that looked like a human head with its mouth open and its eyes real wide. And of course, we're in the back seat, my friend John and I, so we're closest to it. We're screaming. The girls are screaming. They're like yelling, "Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here." Well, she had backed all the way in there and still left the car in reverse. So I think we ran over the severed head in our haste to get out of there. But it was scary. I mean, there's things like that only happen when you're a kid, I think. If you went back now and tried to do that as an adult, there probably wouldn't be anything there. But there was something there that scared the bejesus out of us. And like I said, we probably ran over it because she floors the car and whoop, straight back. Of course, that made everybody scream even louder.
We had one.
They were like crying and stuff. And
right.
Get out of here.
That's reminded me right off the top of my head of how many times have we been kids in the back, the back seat of the car. Now, when Steve and I were young, there wasn't any seat belts. There wasn't anything else. You just rolled around back there. If you had a pickup truck, you were just free. There's probably 10, 15 kids back there or whatever. But if you're in the back of a car and you're going through and there's woods on both sides. This was one of those long winding roads. It's still in Alabama today. And you go down this road and there's a couple of S turns that you do, probably 3 full S's, right? And it's woods on both sides, and you go by a cemetery. And the thing is, they tell you that once you get through this one part, there's a ghost that will come down the street and try to come at your car and follow your car. Like one of those where you get past a certain point, it disappears. Mm-hmm. It won't go past a certain point. This is that story. So when you're a little kid and you're looking out the back seat, you're just looking out the big old back window and you're looking, we would never, want to look out the back. It's like, you look. Is she there? Is she there? And I never saw it, but my second husband, actually looks like I have no nose. But my second husband said that one night he actually did, his brother, baited him into looking out, and there she was, and it was just this white, real, obviously a woman, the hair flowing and the dress and the whole thing. Followed it right till they got to the point where he was just about to scream, and then she just disappeared because the car had passed that section. I don't know how many stories we know about once you get across the bridge, he's gone, or it's a motorcycle, or it's a hitchhiker, or, won't stay in the car past a certain point. You know what I mean? Who's heard that before?
Yeah, I've heard that one. We had
I think there was something like that. I mean, that's one of those. I'm trying to read the chat too. Sorry. I think that's one of those things like the Crybaby Bridge. I was looking in the chat, like everyone talking about like the ghost lady hitchhiker and the lady in white.
Okay, let me catch up.
We
with
had
chat.
one like that in East Tennessee. It's called Scout Hollow. And the tragedy really did happen there back in, I think it was the 1920s, 1930s. There was some Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts that were camping in a dry creek bed, and there was a flash flood up in the mountains, Rockwood Mountain, at night, and water washed them away. The Scoutmaster was able to save 2 or 3 of them, but there were several that died.
Oh my gosh!
And there's a monument there and everything. I mean, it's not just some made up story. There's a big Boy Scout emblem there made out of stone, and it says to the boys who lost their lives or something like that. But they say if you go down there riding anything, it used to be a horse, but also I've known people that rode motorcycles down there. And when you ride through that area, it feels like somebody gets on behind you until you cross there's a creek that's not dry there, just a little bit up the road. And when you go over that bridge, you feel it lift off of you.
We have another surprise, Steve.
Hey, there's Heather. I was
Hey, Heather.
Hi.
Happy Halloween, sweetie. I like your hat.
Thank you. Happy Halloween and happy birthday, Steve.
Thank you.
Freddie! Oh my gosh!
Yes, he's my favorite.
Freddie, I grew up watching.
Isn't that awesome?
Freddie was the only one that scared me. I wanted to marry Michael Myers, but Freddie Krueger, I could not go to sleep. Michael Myers is still my future ex-husband, okay? But Freddie Krueger scared the bejesus out of me, and he still does, actually.
Yep, absolutely.
Samantha says there's a hitchhiking woman story near Columbia in the swamp area. I bet. I think every swamp area has a ghost story. Did you bring a ghost story with you, Heather?
I didn't. Actually, the only ghost story I have, or scary story, is that I have a lot of grading that I have to get done before midnight tonight.
Uh-oh. That is scary.
Yeah, I did want to stop in and say happy birthday, so...
Well, thanks, Heather.
We appreciate you doing that. Absolutely.
So nice to see you.
Yeah,
Heather is a wonderful writer, a fantastic narrator. I mean, where can we find you, Heather?
Thank you.
Tell them where.
Well, you can go on Instagram and find me at Pagan Historian, or just follow Small Town Monsters. I'm their researcher, and I'm getting ready. Actually, Wednesday, there's my new show's coming out called The Lore You Know on YouTube.
Nice.
So just keep an eye out for Small Town Monster stuff. You'll find me.
There you go. Can you stay with us a while, or do you want to go? She's got to go. So she's doing a drive-by happy birthday and happy Halloween. We appreciate you so much for coming in, Heather.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
Bye. Happy Halloween.
Bye.
You know, the girl who played Nancy in the original Freddy Krueger movie's name in real life was Heather.
Oh, wow.
So I don't have a ghost story, but I have a couple of creepy things, just creepy experiences that I have, if you guys want to hear them.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure ghosts are involved, or at least spirit. So a few weeks ago, my son gets up sometimes in the middle of the night and wants milk. So I get up and get it for him. And when I go downstairs, I have to walk through our living room where a lot of his toys are. And I turn off all of his toys at night because I don't like when batteries run out, and I don't like things just going off, So I walk downstairs and I'm walking through the living room. And before I could get to the light, one of his little dinosaurs that sings or something that is not motion activated, and it's not even battery operated. You just flip the switch and it goes off and starts singing its Hungry Dinosaur song. So I really freaked out because I remember specifically turning his toys off. It's part of my routine. So I grab the milk, I run back upstairs. I don't say anything to my husband because he wouldn't believe me anyway. He'd make fun of me. And obviously I'm not going to tell my 3.5-year-old, but I was really scared. And I always feel like I'm being watched in this house. So the next night it happens again. My son wakes up and he wants milk. And as I'm going to walk out the door, I hear him start talking, and it's dark in our room. He sleeps in my bed, but there's a tiny little nightlight and nothing else, no TV. So I'm like, who's he talking to? So I stand by the door and I hear him going, "No, Louie, that's not nice. Don't scare my mommy like that again. Leave my toys alone." So I don't know what's going on with his imaginary friends, but my son had no idea that this dinosaur had turned on, and he was telling his imaginary friend not to scare me by turning his toys on again. And then he has these full-blown conversations with his imaginary friends. I mean, full-blown, he really is. He stops and waits for a response, and then he'll tell me what the imaginary friend is saying. And it's getting really crazy in this house, I guess, since I've been channeling, and I try to protect myself as much as I can, but still, I always feel like last night we were at a parade in Tom's River, and my son was invited to go inside of an ambulance. And I was so worried about going inside of this ambulance because I was afraid the energy from people who may have, passed or left the negative energy was going to follow me. my son, I don't know. I'm just worried about these imaginary friends that he has. Now I believe that there's something dark in my house that's constantly watching me. I think the trolls are back. So a lot of really kind of scary things going on in my house that I think I'm going to start like filming. I'll tell you guys one kind of ghost story, and then I think I'm just going to head out because I'm really not feeling well. And I've read this story once before because it's going to be in my next book, but it was a long time ago. So when I first met the guy who's now my husband, he found an apartment for me because where I was living just wasn't working out. So he brings me into the apartment. It was kind of late, and we just kind of set a little bed up in one of the bedrooms. And he's like, I'm going to go, because we were only dating at the time. We didn't live together. So I'm in this apartment by myself, and it's a pretty big apartment, and it's in Patterson, so it's a bad neighborhood, you know. He's like, don't answer the door. I'm like, obviously. So as soon as I fall asleep, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, as always, right? Because that's always the time. And someone's banging, pounding on the downstairs door. So you had to come through the downstairs door and come up the stairs to get to the door that goes into my apartment. Pretty basic. And I hear someone pounding on the downstairs door. Now, this was my first night in this apartment, and I knew there was an upstairs. So I go downstairs and I'm like, I have to answer it. The guy won't go away. It's been like 5 minutes. I go downstairs and the guy's obviously drunk. And he's like, I locked myself out. I'm with the party upstairs. So I'm like, okay, because I did hear like some music and stuff coming from upstairs. But Ray, you know, my son's father, he didn't like address it with me like, oh, the people upstairs are partying or whatever. So I let the kid in. I lock the door and I go back up into my apartment. So there's more stairs that go up to the 3rd floor. No big deal. I hear this partying and it's going on all night long. And I'm so tired. I had a rough time the few nights before. All right. So I'm like super tired. I'm trying to get some sleep. And the next day I'm like, you know, who are you renting to upstairs? Because they were so loud all night. It's a Monday night. Like, what are they doing? Like, did you rent to teenagers or something? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, someone knocked downstairs. And he just like turned white. And he's like, who did you let in? He's like, nobody should have been in this house. I said, well, they were for the party upstairs. He's like, come with me. He takes me and brings me upstairs. The whole upstairs is completely gutted from fire damage and people that passed away in this fire, a bunch of young kids who were partying. So I'm like, I have to research everything. If you guys know me, I research everything. So I'm looking it up, and I'll be darned if it wasn't the kid who knocked on the door, wasn't the person throwing the party who died in the fire damage. And it was like the energy was just reliving that night, I guess, when he passed. He seemed so real. And at the time, it was like, you know, I was using at the time, and it was a time when I wasn't, you know, accepting spirit, really. I was kind of turning my light off, and I didn't want to deal with it. It was very scary. So I guess, like, I know now if that happened, I would know right away, like, this is a spirit. But he was so real, and he talked to me. You know, I thought he was drunk, and I walked up the stairs before him just to get quickly back into my apartment. I wish I had stayed behind and let him go first, because maybe I would have noticed he was an apparition. But it happened all the time. It was like a certain date. I don't remember what, like the 21st of every month, this would happen again and happen again and happen again, where this kid would knock on the door. And it went on for like 3 or 4 months until finally I got roommates in the apartment, and then it stopped. So I guess it was coming because I have the light and I can see, you know, they can see that I can see them and know them, and the other people in the house couldn't. So I think that's why it stopped. But more on what's going on in my house. I'm hoping to catch something. I know there's definitely fae. I've got trolls again. I got rid of them a few years ago, but they're back. I don't know if it's my son, because he's a triple moon.
He's coming into his, yeah.
Sun, moon, rising Cancer. Yeah, triple moon. It was very sensitive. So I'll keep you guys posted. What did he say to me? I said, you know, I just kind of looked at him because he was banging on the door, like, and he was leaning against the wall like this, like drunk. And he had an unlit cigarette in his hand. So I was like, and he's like, I'm right upstairs. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, yeah. I just, you know, didn't even. So yeah, it was residual. And I believe, Cisco, I think you would know, I'm pretty sure this is true, that like when you die tragically or suddenly like that, sometimes you do end up in the loop.
Sometimes.
Like that.
Yeah,
you know?
like a death echo. in some cases, but I always say this, that not every tragedy, not every car accident, just because people who lose loved ones in that situation think, oh, automatically, no.
Oh, no.
It's as individual as you are, and there's really no set law or rule. But like Gemma said, you can very well get caught up in that agitation and that energy. And we do have another surprise. I'm only saying this because I want the caller to know that I see him in there, and I'm getting right to you. And because I don't know if they know I know that they're there. So that's so I'm just saying that I'll get right to you.
No picking your nose or go to the bathroom.
But yeah, that's a thing right there where they get stuck like that in their death state, and they're some of the hardest to get to understand. First, a lot of them, what goes hand in hand with that is a lot of them don't know they're dead. So he would be talking to you just like that, like I'm going upstairs, I'm just repeating, whatever might have happened there. But
even
do some research. Yeah. Do that kind of, like you said, the research on it and see this poor guy, see if you can cross them. Sometimes it's easy once it clicks and they understand. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's got to be horrible. Do you know what I mean? Not knowing.
It does. But I'm going to pop in, not to cut you off. I don't mean that at all. Steve, I didn't mean to cut off your story either. I got yelled at in the chat. I apologize, chat.
That was pretty much the end of it. I was in a car and I didn't feel anything.
Let's see who
don't like when you interrupt Steve.
Scout Hollow.
Hello, welcome in. Hey. Michael, is that you? Can we hear you?
Something done got him.
Yep, I think somebody got him. Hang on, Mike. Let's try this. Let's try it again. Because I can see him down here, but I can't see him up here. All right, Mike, hang on. Let's try it again. Let's see. Can you hear us?
I'm having a seance. Are you with Mike?
I honestly heard him. Okay, he's going to go out and come back in. But Gemma, keep us in contact, with that. Maybe, meet up in a couple of weeks. We'll have another show, and we'll.
I would love that. Maybe when
talk
I'm feeling
in depth
better.
about it. Yeah, because
I'm going to head out though, guys.
All right, sweetie.
Thank you so much for having me, Lori.
Thank you for coming.
Not going to give a big goodbye to everybody. I love you guys. You know that. I'll see you next time. Steve, I'll talk to you later.
Feel better.
Thank
you so much,
love
guys.
You. Hope you feel better.
Love you too, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Happy Halloween.
You too.
Laura, I just figured your costume out. You're a unicorn, aren't you?
She's a unicorn.
I thought you were just happy to see us. At first, I thought, is that bunny ears? And then I thought, well, the flowers.
She's just really happy to see us.
Off, and then I thought, wood nymph or something. And then,
everybody loves your costume, sweetie. Yeah. Everybody loves.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So okay.
Slow, but
go ahead, Laura. Meanwhile, I'm gonna pop in another one here to say happy birthday. Go ahead, Laura.
Oh no, I was just gonna say this was my last minute. When I was at the Hoover House last weekend, they invited me.
Had a wonderful time.
I did. They invited me to their Halloween party, and I ran out to Walmart last minute, and I was like, "Yes, unicorn!
Unicorn!
I gotta do it."
So now she's forever getting unicorn gifts from me. Hello, Sir Brian Bowden. Happy Halloween to you, my brother.
Happy Halloween to you, and happy birthday, Steve.
Thank you.
I'm actually here telling you happy birthday from Sleepy Hollow.
Don't you just want to poke him?
I didn't know you were there.
Sleepy Hollow right now.
He's at Sleepy Hollow.
We haven't found the Headless Horseman, but we found a lot of candy. So,
and he promised me he was going to recite from memory the entire Washington Irving poem on location. And go, Bri.
I think his words were, "Oh shit."
Oh shit. But, absolutely lovely.
My brother
place.
used to live in the area, and he used to run the aqueduct that runs all the way up upstate New York. And he swears on Halloween when he was running, he saw the Headless Horseman or the ghost of. So,
wow.
And he's not one of those guys that kind of lies. So maybe he just saw somebody in a costume. But it's very interesting. Your birthday is today. My daughter's was yesterday. So that's mischief night for you kids out there. Nothing like having a daughter on mischief night.
Hell night.
But
happy Halloween, Brian, from Jackie.
Oh, happy Halloween to everybody there.
One of our wonderful mods.
Making that journey with you for this lovely boy's birthday.
We're having a
ball. I wish you many, many more, my brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Be careful. Don't pee on any trees out there.
No, I'm not. My wife prevents me from doing that.
I love that story. But for those of you that don't know, Brian urinated on a tree and a dog man got after him.
Yep.
Because of it, so.
Yep. Right in front of a dog man, about 20 feet. And the dog man was just looking at me like, this guy's crazy.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was an interesting night. So we're planning on going back to that location in about 2 weeks. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I made big depends that day instead.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering if
at least a
go,
machete.
That's the guy that peed in front of me.
They'll remember, bro. They're never going to forget that. You know that.
Oh, no, they won't.
You challenged him for who's the alpha.
Yeah, and I knew that when I was doing it. And I said, yeah, let's see what happens. And my buddy's screaming at me, get in the car, Brian. You know, I'm like,
wouldn't have to tell me. I'd have been running for that car.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm in between getting these kids from their sugar high back home. That should be fun. But wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. Many more to come. And love, not only you as a person, but your stuff that you do. So keep doing it.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that.
You got it, brother.
Happy Halloween to you and your family.
You too. And you can play them if you can get it up there. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you anyway. But I wrote a happy birthday song. So be well.
Oh, yes.
God bless everybody.
I will send it to you, Steve, if I can't play it tonight. Thank you so much, Sir Brian.
No problem.
Hug a pumpkin for me.
Yeah, hump a pumpkin or hug.
I said hug. No, look, what you do.
You can borrow my horn if you need.
What you do on your own is your own business.
Toss it. We'll see if Laura can catch it on top of her head.
Later, everybody. This is getting weird. Bye.
Love you. Oh, okay. We got another. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Hold right. All right, hold on. Sleepy Hollow, how jealous are you?
Oh, yeah.
I am
so
jealous. Laura, we're going there. We're going to do a live from Sleepy Hollow next year. She's my new ghost buddy. She'll stay at a Dead and Breakfast with me. So, to all you scaredy cats out there, nanny boo boo.
Because you hand out bacon popcorn, she'll come to your house, Cisco.
Absolutely. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Our wonderful friend of the show, Mr. Michael Laciana, maybe. There he is! Yay! Happy Halloween, dear.
Michael, looks spooky when you get it.
You guys.
Oh my goodness, he does look spooky. Oh, we're great. What do you have going on there? Lovely pumpkins.
So, Steve, happy birthday. I want to wish you very happy. You're welcome. You're only 25. You're 30.
You're kind of going in and out, Mike. Try to say something else. Let's see if we can hear you.
Okay.
Can you guys
hear me now?
Yeah, yes, now I can.
I've got a very low battery. I'm just popping in.
That's Alien for happy birthday and happy Halloween.
Thanks, Michael. Well, I appreciate it.
We love you so much. We love you so much. Michael Laciana, everybody. Now, if you remember correctly, we did a show with him a couple years ago.
That's some of the best EVPs I've ever heard in my life.
I know, absolutely. He's got the best heart for paranormal investigation, integrity, all this stuff. He did a wonderful Journey to the Past. You can get that on Amazon Prime, and it's all him. You know, he's got a few very close friends with him that helped him put it together, but most of this is all Michael's heart.
Initials there. It's what, the Haunted Historical Society?
Yes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And he did a wonderful, wonderful job. Just beautiful heart and history. And it's not just, it's basically the way Michael goes at it. It's like learning a living history through those who lived it for real. Except now they're kind of dead. You know, and then he also talks to the living around, and he gets all the history on that, and he puts it all together, and it's just a wonderful, heartfelt endeavor. There he is. He's back again. Hi, honey. You popped out on us. I don't know if you could hear you, but I was just talking you up really good, but every bit of it was true. So if you like ghost stories and you miss the way historical Paranormal Supernatural used to be done when they did the deep history dive and the caring, and they told the story and the character of the people and the character of the land and the homestead or the buildings that are there. Michael does all that. It's a wonderful outcome. So highly recommend seeing it. Journey Through the Past, and it is on Amazon Prime. Go see it. All right. Yep. No, we lost him again. He's gone. Okay, guys. Anybody got a ghost story off the top of their head while we're waiting for another caller? Because guess what? I got a video. If anybody wants to see a video. How about another little vid?
Yeah, let's see a video.
This one's going to take us back. Go back. Go back some more. Go back. Wait. No, back into 1963. Yes, they did actually have television back then. Let's take a little trip and see what we can come up with. How about some good old-fashioned Halloween candy? Wait a second, guys. I think I started that trip. Back up. Technical issues. And Bernie! Kick the camera over again. All right, here we go. All this music is written by Mario Cicerello. Do you know where your children are?
Great Pumpkin. I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. I hope you will bring me lots of presents.
They're back. All the Little Peanuts characters in a happy Halloween special that's filled with delightful, heartwarming adventures from their wonderful cartoon world. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
George!
And here's Linus to tell you more about it.
On Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through the air with his bag of toys for all the children.
While Linus waits for the Great Pumpkin, ghosts and goblins, witches and owls make the scene, with Charlie Brown and his Peanuts playmates off on a haunting spree that's filled with surprises. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, in color.
Now, how cool is that?
That was cool.
Super cute.
Some of those candies and stuff, and like the Charlie Brown. I remember when we were kids, if you missed it, you missed it for that year. You didn't know watching on VHS or streaming it on demand. If you missed it, you missed. I remember just being so distraught one time.
Yep.
So my mother had to go somewhere, and she said we'd be back in time to see it, and I didn't see it, and I threw an absolute fit. I mean, like a laying on the floor, kicking, screaming, wailing fit. It just wasn't very, becoming of a 16-year-old. No, actually, I was about 5. But yeah, when you missed it, you missed it. And like, I'm going to write a letter and ask the TV station if they'll play it again. I actually tried that. That doesn't work.
Nope, you had to see it when it came out.
Yeah,
but I absolutely...
I'm sorry, watch for it next year, kid.
Yep. I absolutely had to get a little piece of that in there, so I showed you the trailer that they actually played when that came out. It came out in 63. I can't believe it, but it did. So I remember, it's funny how you remember the holidays as far as like your timed shows, because, of course, pinpoints it. But I can remember being in that house. If you read the book that Steve and I did, it's called The Farmhouse, The Head and the Red Ribbon, I believe. I think that's what it is.
I remember listening to that story.
And in that house, in that farmhouse, and it was probably, 63, 64, 65, somewhere right in there. I remember watching the Norelco commercial with Santa Claus coming down the Norelco razor.
Riding on the razor, yeah.
Riding down, because it played with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, I don't remember the first time I saw the Peanuts, but I do remember the years that everything was saying, just like they did, is like the FBI in color.
Yeah.
Everything said it was in color because it was big to have that then. A lot of the stuff was still in black and white.
I remember being real small and the following presentation is in living color. I'd be like, Mom, it's going to be in color. She's like, no, we have to have color TV for it to be in color.
That's great.
I didn't have color TV until I think I was like a junior in high school or something. So that would have been like 1979, 1980.
Yeah.
And our last black and white TV bit the dust and we got color.
Wow, that was a big deal, man. Color TV, the big Zenith on the floor, man.
Yeah, had a big
it's like furniture.
Zenith that had it when I was a kid, so it lasted until I was at least 15 or 16 years old. And even then, it could have been. We did get it fixed and used it in the basement, but
color TV was big time.
TV for upstairs, and that Zenith is probably still somewhere. After my parents died, my nephew took it, and it still worked then.
Wow. My uncle was in Asbury Park, owned Scott's Music and Television back in this. Well, it was there 45 years when I started coming around. So it started probably 30s, I guess. But when in the 60s, I used to go there all the time when I was little. And all these great big TVs. Well, he was the guy that got in the van and came to your house to fix all the picture tubes and tell you, don't take the back off and mess around in there. You're going to blow up some of them tubes. But that's what he always used to say. You don't ever touch a plugged-in television, even if it's unplugged. I can still hear them. Don't blow the tubes.
There's capacitors in there that will still hold a charge, sometimes for months or years.
It's incredible.
You can get a lethal dose of electricity from a TV that hadn't been plugged in a long time.
Jackie is dropping our books. Thank you so much. And there's a few people in here I saw. I'm sorry, I cannot catch who it was. They asked me to burn the sage. I did that. And also the Palo Santo wood. The sage is going. The candles are going. I've got the holy water going. And here is a little bit just for everybody included. Since I've got the little outfit on, we'll go ahead and do some Florida water for everybody. There you go. Blessings on your night. Blessings on your day. You should be covered. Because like I said, I already did the holy water and everything else. And again, thank you so much for the prayers for my sister Dee, who is in the emergency room right now, and she is not doing too good. Better. So send her some light, everybody. Thank you so much. You were also mentioning about the music. All the music tonight, except for the little ghost one from 1923, was written by Mario Cicerello. That is my husband, and I go in and I go, okay, I need something slow and scary with maybe some rain and some squeaky doors and some laughter, and he'll 5 minutes later, he's done. He sends it to me. This is him. Thank you so much, Blue Hair, and everybody that's sending up prayers. I appreciate it. I don't have any. Let's see. I just want to be sure. Hold on 1 second. We have a surprise visitor. Here we go. Hello and welcome in.
Hello.
Welcome in.
Hi,
How
Ray.
are you?
Hey.
I'm doing fine. One thing, happy birthday, Steve. Happy birthday to Mulder. Hopefully he's doing a little better.
Yeah, he was fine. That was Bill's dog, Jeffrey, that was sick. Mulder's fine.
Okay, good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I was like, what's wrong with Mulder?
Thank you so much can you pronounce your name for me?
Tyray.
Tyray. Oh,
I've
that's
butchered
absolutely
it
beautiful.
so many times. When
Tyray.
you come onto my channel.
That's
I have to
beautiful.
ask every time. Am I saying it right?
All the mods are welcoming you in, love. Thank you so much for calling in. Did you have a ghost story, scary story, or a question, or what do you want to talk about?
I do have a short, I don't know if I would say it's a ghost story.
Okay, go ahead.
But, so last year, I was deployed downrange.
Okay.
And I would hang out with a friend of mine. We would walk
back and forth from the theater or the gym. And we ended up getting stuck out there for a longer time because of the pandemic. Well, one night we had gone to the movie theater and they had actually reopened it. We had to have social distancing. And we were walking back and it was dark out and you had some lights here and there. But we had these big buildings where a lot of the airmen would stay, Airman Army. And on one of them, I noticed that there was a shadow that was huge. It looked like a giant cat. And I could feel immediately the hairs on the back of my neck stood on end because it wasn't like a normal shadow. And of course, my eyes darted around to try to see, okay, what might have been giving it off. Because I was getting a feeling from it. But I didn't say anything to my friend. Then she goes, what the bleep is that? And I just kind of commented to her. I said, don't pay attention to it. Just keep walking. And I had to explain to her that, sometimes you just see things, and it's the more you give attention, you might have a chance for it to attach to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I still kind of feel that creepy vibe of seeing that creature. And it also made me think of some of Jenna's videos when she was talking about the jinn. And given that I was deployed out in the Middle East,
yep,
that's one of the hot spots of where the jinn come from.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. How did you said you felt it, Tyree? First of all, picking up, thank you for your service. And absolutely.
Thank you.
I was Army myself. So when you're talking about guard duty, I'm sitting there thinking about all the times where we're, when you're doing guard, like you're those times when you're guard, it's let me tell you something. When they tell you to guard something, it's none of your business what you're guarding. You're just guarding it. And it could be nothing. It could be something big, So we're out in the middle of nowhere and you're meeting up with your buddy, you're walking your perimeter, and you're coming back meeting again, and usually going back and doing it again. So many times you see stuff out in the woods or whatever, and you can't leave your post. I mean, you're stuck. I can imagine, Tyree, how you felt. Now, you're in the Middle East. Had you purchased anything from like these little markets on this, do you know which ones I mean? The little open air markets where everybody's selling, like, might not even look like an artifact. It just could be anything. Were you doing any of that? Or it's so easy to buy souvenirs and stuff like that. Had you purchased anything?
I did. We were able to get off base and we went down to the gold souks. Now, we'll tell you, the gold souks, it's mostly just like made in China stuff. Mm-hmm. Vendor after vendor after vendor mm-hmm. has the exact same type of things. I did purchase stuff. I ended up purchasing a bronze lion. That one, it looked like it was hand done, and it was the style in it was your older style. Now, okay. I will say I did put energy into it and made it a defender in my room, okay. Just because there's a lot of stuff out there, and it's I even do it with posters. I'll put posters on all 4 walls, okay. And just kind of gate my room, because good. I've lived in a house where I had an experience. It messed with the electronics. I think it actually tried to possess me, and that whole story, there was nobody else in the apartment at the time. This was in college. They stuffed 4 of us in the apartment, and there was already a lot of stuff going on, which helped feed the entity. I even knew where it was coming from. I knew that it was passing in and out of a closet in the apartment. I looked at a roommate who made my life a living hell. But I said, look, you can stop anything if you have the belief. And I took a piece of paper, I wrote down a symbol.
Yes.
And I stuck it on the door.
Good.
The door actually started to get hot, and she didn't believe me, but I said, don't open the door. And she went to go open the door, and she actually burned her hand on the knob.
Ooh.
I told her, but she didn't want to listen to me. Well, the night that I was by myself, I was sleeping, but I had a troubled sleep. Like I was caught between wakedness and the sleeping realm. And what ended up happening was I was also in the living room. Like while I'm sleeping, I could see myself in the living room. And I had my hand up trying to pull whatever this was out of the wall. And I had help from 2 other people. I saw its face. I saw the heart, and I could see my hands as I was about to crush it. And the phone rang. And this was about 2 or 3 in the morning. And it woke me up. It woke me up, and I picked up the phone. There was nobody there. There was absolutely there was no breathing. There was no nothing. I know at that point I got dressed, and I didn't even have a car. I got dressed. I left, and I essentially did not return back to the apartment until the morning.
Wow. It was so creepy.
There, let me unmute myself. I'm sorry. I'm eating popcorn like crazy. I'm so hungry. I was getting everything ready for the show, and I was just like, I didn't even eat dinner, so I'm kind of hungry. So I'm just like stuffing my face with popcorn. I apologize. That's amazing to me. Now, Steve, you and I have talked a lot about this, the jinn being attached to things. And I believe, and I have heard from backdoor information, that a lot of these people, now that doesn't mean every vendor out there, so don't misquote me there, but a lot of vendors will do this, put stuff into, or at least basically you would say, why would somebody do that? Well, because they're trying to it's doing a deed for evil. Basically, think about that. What they get for it, I don't know. I don't have the list.
You're passing it on, but then you're getting rid of it from you too. So
that's another way. So some are doing it intentionally, putting connecting into it. It's like, so something is like predestined, like dropping evil seeds in your pocket, basically. So if your own energy can manifest that, it can attach, it could jump onto somebody else. But what you said too, Steve, is true, because it's like they get rid of it off of them and put it on somebody else, right?
Yeah. It's like a guy that I knew, he worked private security in the Emirates, and he rented an apartment there and was having all kinds of weird things happen. And he started looking around, and finally, behind one of the air vents in the vent ductwork itself, he found like a wooden box of some sort in there, kind of, I guess, like the Middle Eastern version of a Dybbuk box that had kind of weird symbols and things on it. He didn't open it; he just got rid of it. And after that, the problem stopped. He was seeing like shadow people, and things would move around in the apartment, and he didn't know if somebody had just left it there, if somebody put it there intentionally, if it was meant for him, if he just was the lucky one or whatever. But I think stuff like that happens sometimes. And it was supposedly some type of jinn, according to him and the people that he talked to there about it that knew such things.
What do you think, Laura? Have you ever heard anything about that? How do you feel about the jinn and stuff like that? I mean, do you think it's just, another form of demon? I think there's multiple layers there, lots of different kinds, minions to very powerful, But what do you think about that?
I missed most of that. I'm sorry. I had to get up.
It's
but
okay.
I had to plug my laptop in. But no, I don't know. I kind of just feel like they're like a lower level demon almost. They feel like ancient almost.
Yes.
It seems to
I
be.
agree.
Very, very old feel to
I
me.
agree.
Yeah, I don't know why I get that, but that's just kind of what I think of them.
Ancient. I mean, there's, it depends on what, whether you're going through Dead Sea Scrolls, you're going through the Bible, you're going through other ancient, the Quran and things like that. I mean, all of these things are mentioned. So, they were dealing with them. I mean, even if you go back like the other way and you go into, more tribal stuff, every culture mentions these things that are ancient, that were here before us, okay, Donnie says he believes that the Jinn are old world gods. Very well could be. Donnie, why do you think they come here to mess with us? Is it just like other demons? Is it for a soul, or is it for the fun of it? Like a trickster would get something out of just messing with somebody? What do you think? Let us know, chat. What do you think? Why do you think Jinn do what they do? Let's just talk about Jinn. We can imagine why a demon does things, because they want to break you down and break you and get your soul. Is that what a Jinn is doing too? Or is it so. What do you think, Steve?
Well, now out here at the Portland Puppet Museum, my daughter used to be the assistant curator there, and some of their oldest puppets are from Turkey, from like the 15 or 1600s.
Okay.
And those things, I picked them up before, and just touching them and holding them, you can feel there's something attached to there. Of course, anything that old and from that part of the world is going to have a history anyway. But they had all kinds of disturbances at the Puppet Museum. They had some night walkers and stuff. They had some puppets that they kept in the basement that would move around of their own volition. They'd open the basement storage up, and the puppet that was over there is like maybe sitting over here now, and they would hear voices and footsteps and things down there. So I'm like, no, big note for me. My daughter spent the night in that Victorian house where they had the storage, but she was upstairs and the puppets are in the basement. But I'm like, you couldn't.
I'll stay in a haunted house, but I'm not staying in something like that.
Laura stayed in a haunted house a couple weekends ago, and I know that she's got a little story. Maybe she'll tell us a little bit of that towards the end of the show. But, honey, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, I don't have an answer for that.
So good to hear your voice.
Yeah, so good.
Chat lots and lots of times and butchered your name several of those times.
That's exciting.
You for calling in. I appreciate it.
And she sends me emails, so thank you for that. I appreciate that.
How nice is that? And see, everybody's getting to know each other a little bit too. Like we have no idea who, we've got a lot of hidden heroes, a lot of hidden patriots, and a lot of hidden great moms and great dads and kids out here. You know what I mean? Everybody in the chat coming together. We might not even say it's like-minded, but we're all interested and we're all inquisitive-minded and trying to figure out what all this stuff is and putting it together. That was a fantastic story, hon, and I'm sorry you're going through all that, but it sounds to me like you've got a handle on your own energy and your own power and a good foundation.
Like she knows how to deal with it, making the symbol and putting it
adamant. Yeah, and that's how you have to be. I totally agree. But did you have anything else you wanted to say before we cut out?
Other than happy Halloween and everybody have a blessed day.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You
and
too.
It's just terrific to meet you. Absolutely terrific to meet you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, coming in the chat. Part of the family. Thank you. Oh, look, it's Mulder. Birthday boy. Hi, sweetie.
Here, my headphones fell off down here.
Hi, Mulder.
I'm going to do something to him. He doesn't know what's going on.
Oh, my goodness.
The headphones fell off, scared him to death. You say hi to everybody?
He just look. And then he won't look. He's doing no. I don't want no.
There, I licked your hand. Now put me down. Happy birthday, Mr. Mulder.
Happy birthday.
He's like, okay, you can put me down. He's
animals
about the microphone there.
Animals are just such a blessing.
So everybody bye.
Look at
my
you.
My 2 dogs are over on my bed right next to me, sound asleep.
Are they? Are they? Yeah. He got a chubby little face. He's just a happy boy. Does he have Jack Russell in him? Not
that I know of. According to the whatever DNA stuff they did at the Pixie Project, he's Chihuahua and Corgi, but there might be some Jack Russell.
Okay. It was the Corgi I was looking at. That's what it was. I've always been in love with Jack Russell since I saw Last of the Dogmen, and the dog in there was a Jack Russell. Zip. His name was Zip. And just a fantastic movie if you've never seen it. Last of the Dogmen. It's Barbara Hershey and, what's that guy's name? Doggone it, I'll never think of it.
I know who you're talking about, and I lost it too.
Yep. And it's gone. It's gone. It's like when something like that happens, it's like you're in a dark ocean and you're swimming, but you can't see like 2 feet in front of you, and all of a sudden you see something coming in, and it's coming in, and it's almost in full, and no. It's gone. Yeah. But anyway, if anybody knows who was in Last of the Dogmen with Zip and Barbara Hershey, pop it in chat. So, guys, if one of you have a ghost story you want to share, or let's listen, chat, call in here. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. You can do just what not Tyree. It's Tyree. Tyree just had the symbol up. You don't have to show your face if you don't want. It would be lovely to hear your voice, and if you have a story, great.
While you're lining up another call or something, I need to take a break. Mulder needs to go outside.
Okay.
And, I need a nature break too. I've been.
That's why you look like that.
Water, yeah. That's
put me down.
Up, he's like, take me outside. He was over here tapping on my leg. He didn't expect me to pick him up.
No, bless him.
I'll just
go ahead. Go ahead and pop back in.
We'll be right back. And thanks everybody. Excuse Mulder and I for a minute.
There you go. Laura, you want to tell us about what was it like to be at the Hoover House?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. I can't wait to go back. That's for sure.
I know.
It's like no other that I've felt. And if anybody was listening the other night when you had on, oh my gosh, what was his name? The pet medium. I'm sorry, Rob, right?
Rob Guttrow. He's so fantastic.
Yeah, I think it was when you had him on. You were talking about the Hoover House, and it's exactly everything that she says. You can feel the love that comes out of everybody that's there.
It's beautiful.
There's nobody there that has a bad vibe to them, because I'm somebody that I'm very closed off until I kind of feel you out, and I don't really like to talk to people unless I know you, and I can be very like standoffish, but once I get to know you and I'm comfortable with you, then I'm totally fine. And there wasn't even any of that with any of the people that were there. It was just immediately like I was comfortable with them, and they were all just such great people.
They absolutely are. Pamela, it's Pamela and Stephen Barry and James Wyrick and Dave Haney, who own Hoover House. And we have had Dave and Jim on the show. You guys have seen them. And we're going to get Steve and Pam Barry on there. Oh, we just lost Connor.
Connor!
He was in here. Connor, come back. I was just about to clip you in, sweetheart. If you hear me out there, pop back in. Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off. I don't know how to do that without being rude. It's like, here's pop.
Just tell me to shut up.
Here comes another pop.
I don't care.
I don't want to do that. Care. But yeah, it's really fantastic over there. So,
oh my gosh.
Now she's got the room. Now everything there is, again, 1912 Hoover House. So it's the same year that the Titanic went down. So imagine the time and the people and the period around that. And you go in this house and it's all set up. Pam has done a lot of the decorating and everything, and it's all set up just like it should be. And there's lots of...
It's very homey, too.
It is. That's right. It is. And it's got a full bar, which is cool, and a full kitchen and everything else. They're thinking about maybe opening a restaurant again, too. But the thing is I don't know how much you want to tell us, and I don't want you to... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we got Andrew. Let's get Andrew in here. Let's say hi. To be continued on Hoover House. We'll continue on that, okay?
Yep.
Here we go. Let's see if we get Andrew in here. Welcome. Hey, Andrew. How you doing? Can you hear us?
Well, no.
Nope. That's okay. Check your mic, sweetie. There might be a thing there that says... mute your mic or open your mic. Just take your time. Those things can be so frustrating.
Yeah, it doesn't show that he's muted, so I wonder if it's just kind of lagging. I don't know.
It could very well be. Andrew, if you can hear us, honey, you have frozen. So I'm going to send you out. Go out and come back in. Use the link again. And it'll probably work that time.
So, I can hear you guys. How are you?
Oh, wait. Here he is.
Good. How are you doing?
Hello. We can hear you now.
Oh.
Oh, he stopped again. Yep, he froze again. Nope, he's moving. There he goes. I'm looking at this little circle.
Wait, they're gonna make it work better.
Look at my face. I'm never getting this off my face.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it looks so good. Oh my goodness. I went out last minute.
It's like all this shading going down here.
Mm-hmm. No, I see it. I appreciate it because I love to mess around with that stuff. It took me like 40 minutes to get my crap off my face last night.
Did it really?
Oh my god. I went out as a zombie. I'll have to send you pictures.
Oh, PETA said found footage. Oh, PETA, what are you talking about? Found footage. Could she possibly be talking about, I don't know. Do you think? Wait a minute. Let me see if I've got some found footage. I might just have some. You want to see some found footage? Everybody loves this stupid video. I love this stupid video.
Oh no, is this one?
This is the one. It's the one. It's the one. I love this one so much. I'm playing it.
So
it's
creepy.
Halloween. It's Halloween. I'm playing it. Everybody watch this video.
Do whatever you want.
I love this video. I just love the whole way it's set up. I don't care if it's real. I don't care. I really, how would I ever know? So I'm just looking at it going, it's real. It freaking scares me. I don't know what this thing is. Where are these people at? What the hell is going on? I love this video. Here we go.
Original sightings took place. A video camera was found by a local game hunter. No one has come forward to claim this footage.
Do you see that? Over there, look, over there. Do you see that?
What the hell?
Wait, because that was it again, right there. Wait.
I don't like this.
You see that? Right there. Look.
Oh my god. That's not an animal. I don't like it.
Okay, fuck it. Go.
I love that so much. I have no clue. What in the hell? I doubt it's real too, Andrea. But I don't even think about that because I know, again, I'll say it again. If we watched 100 of these things, from the crappiest little snippet to the really good ones where you see things walking around, we don't know. We don't know. We could have people come in and, like I've had Jeremy Enfinger on here, fantastic, puts things through all of these things. I'll never understand. He's an X-ray technician, special something or other, with a caveat on top. He knows what he's doing with pictures, and he can put it through, and he'll say, this was a high 9. That's rare. But what if? What if something in this has got to be real, right?
But
we've seen stuff.
They come up with, it's not every Bigfoot story may be real, but not everyone's fake. So, just for example, they're coming, it comes from something. It's not coming out of nowhere.
Right. And it is disturbing. And people are saying, I hope it's not real. And, it's scary. It is. It's scary goodness. And absolutely scary good. I think we might have another caller. Laura. Let's check. I think this might be Donnie. Hello, can you hear us, Donnie?
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, wow!
Hey,
yes,
Donnie.
Yay! Perfect.
Hey,
Oh, gosh,
Laura.
loud and clear.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, it's pretty good.
I was
Happy-
trying to figure out the program, so it was all very confusing.
Is it really confusing? I don't know how it looks from your end.
I can figure it out, and if I can do it,
Oh
I
no,
think
it was
anybody can do
mostly my iPad. It was my
Oh.
iPad was not cooperating with me. Steve Jobs was in my way.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to share a story that it's not my story, but it's a story that I heard from a friend while I was living in Korea.
Oh,
And I
that
think
sounds
it's-
outstanding. Donnie, give me 1 second. I have to answer something in the chat. Please forgive me because I don't want to interrupt your story. If the mods could drop the link again, we lost Andrew. He's trying to come back in. He needs another copy of the link. So if somebody could post that, mods, we appreciate that. Go ahead, Donnie. The floor is yours, love. And pleasure to meet you, by the way.
Oh yeah, pleasure to meet you as well. I was hoping we could bump into each other at Gettysburg.
Oh, well, I'm sure that'll happen because I'm going back. I love it there. I love it there. Are you local to that to the
I was
area?
like
I don't
about
want
an
to.
hour and a half away, and
I don't want to dox you.
And yeah, it was. I was very amazed by Gettysburg. The whole place was just
Oh, I could take
paranormal
you.
lovers hotspot.
Oh, honey, I could take you places in there. Oh my gosh, it's just there's places I won't go. Usually when I go, I'm getting led there for something. You don't want to hear from me. I'm just saying I could take you places that, inside the people. Oh my gosh. Mark Nesbitt and Carol Nesbitt, these people are wonderful, and nobody knows Gettysburg like Mark. And being a past park ranger there and guide and everything, the stuff that they have to go through, you'd be surprised at the stuff they have to learn. So history, KSPS, Keystone State Paranormal Society, again, with Dave and Jim and Haley and everybody over there. So just going, and they'll take you to the secret spots, and not just Sykes Covered Bridge, but like 3 other ones that nobody talks about. So you can go and you can sit and talk with spirits that are familiar with them. They may not be ready to, maybe full communication or ready to cross or just visitation or something, but they communicate with them. Like Laura was saying earlier, this is what's happening at the Hoover House. Again, I'll just take a second and then I'll shut up. I promise. I can do that. I can just look. I look like one of those skull things. Look.
Oh, no, keep going.
But the thing is like when spirit gets familiar, like a path, like say you go to see a medium and you see that medium maybe 3 times over 5 years or 4 years or something, nothing, on all the time. That medium will start getting familiar with your loved one's energy that comes through to tell you things. You always have that one in the relatives that always seems to stand up. Oh, they're here. They just don't want to talk. I'm talking for them kind of person,
Yeah.
Or there's one that really has a lot to get out, and like your, aunt, whoever's standing back there, and your dad never says a word. Just like just what she said, we're good, that kind of stuff. But when they get familiar with a constant, investigator that has the right intent, and listen, all the things we say on this show, you're not provoking, you're not doing all this stuff, you genuinely have that compassion and love of history and genuine interest in communicating just like you would with another human being, because that's what you're talking to. But you know what I mean, those conversations, they get familiar with it, so they know you're going before you get there, Donnie.
Yeah,
they know.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, she's coming. She's coming. I know she's coming. Laura had this happen. So, and I'm talking like an idiot. I'm going, no, you got to go, sweetie, because you got 2 spirits over there waiting on you. Get your ass back in the car and go back.
Yeah, I've had a couple psychics tell me, like, I was able to feel you as soon as you pulled into the parking lot. So
there you go. But they get familiar with that. So that's what I'm saying about showing you Gettysburg. I could just point you to the people that's going to show it to you. And then, of course, getting pulled to different places. But you could spend weeks there, Donnie, and not scratch, the surface.
Well,
I mean,
the one thing that actually really surprised me about Gettysburg was just the sheer number of ghost tours there were. It was on every, there were 2 or 3 on every street. I was like, wow.
Yep. And they're all different. They're all very, very different. Each one, and they go take you to a different place, or like Mark's Candlelight Ghost Tour. It is literally that. You have candlelight. It's just something about it. It's just nice, the lanterns and stuff. It's cool, And he goes to the Gettysburg College and, some other ones. So you know how, like, they're cut off a path? So another one might crisscross and take you, like, Jenny Wade, or outside of that, or by the orphanage, which is a place
I've never seen a town that leans so heavily into its own, like, history. And saying, "Yep, we're haunted. Come
we're haunted.
Hang out with us.
We're haunted.
Come see some ghosts. Pay $5."
How so? Yeah, but it's good to take those tours. I gotta say, there's something nice I have to say about all of them, like Black Cat, and you got to get a good guide. And that makes it. And it's like when you're walking on these, you're walking down the street and you're thinking about it, you're in a group, and it just depends on who you're there with, and that kind of thing. You get lucky and you start feeling all this stuff. And he's telling the story about, you're walking down the street, and as you approach, there's a stone ditch, and the stone ditch has a stone wall, and some of those stones were there, and some of them have been replaced. But here's where the 1st Virginia came through, and they're wounded, and the battle was moving ever closer into the town, so they had to move the wounded. And then all the men just figured, okay, here, this is great. This is a ditch. It's like the natural role of the landscape there. They could lean up against the cool grass, and they would be comfortable there while the battle raged on, and this would be a little safe spot for them. And then the rain came, and the rain came, and the rain came, and it continued, and they didn't know it was a flood zone, and this wounded are in the ditch, and they cannot move, and the water is getting higher and higher and higher, and they're drowning where they were just bleeding to death before.
I know the exact spot you're talking about.
Yes.
When I was there last October, I did that tour, and they took us back there.
Oh, gosh. And you're sitting on the wall as they tell you this, and they say, and still to this day, if you're sitting on the wall at the right time, you can feel hands grabbing at you. Mm-hmm. And the whole time, everybody's screaming and stuff like that. I'm looking around me, I'm going, anybody here want to talk? It's like, you're looking at it different. Like, oh my God, I can't leave you guys here in this ditch pulling at people. Mm-hmm. But that's Gettysburg to me. And that's what the ghost tours can be like. That's what the ghost tours can be like if they're describing it. And they're not just, I'm not a slasher, saw, this kind of stuff person. I mean, I've seen human beings do things to people all my life, and I don't need a movie about it. I'm more, this is amazing, and why are these human beings left behind, and they're still here? And that's everywhere, Donnie. You walk into the wheat field. Have you been?
We were by there, weren't we? Like, we drove by there.
Yeah, we drove past it a few times.
Yeah.
I have pictures of, I walk into the wheat field. This is the fastest version of the story I got. Walk into the wheat field by myself. My sons are reading something or in a car. I had to pay homage to these people in the wheat field. For those who do not know, the wheat field, again, another horrible battle on this horrible 3 days. And what's happened is, of course, you've got both sides at either end of this field, and it is a wheat field. And the wheat at that time was up above average-sized man's head. And it really was. It was, in parts, it was really that high. And they're fighting back and forth. Okay, now you're getting wounded, and you're landing in the middle, and you're hurt. So you're in this wheat now, and you're got people running and stomping all over the place. This went on all day. And it's July, and it's hot. And you're wearing wool, and now you're shot. So, bad day for everybody. So, earlier, some of the cannon fire had hit a farm. The farm, the barns, of course, the fences came down. It happened to be a hog farm. So now you got all these hogs running around wild. You've got nightfall on the wheat field, the wounded laying in the wheat, screaming for their mothers and for each other to help them. And the hogs come.
I hate this story
and
so
now
much.
Both sides not only hearing their brothers screaming for help and wanting to help them, but they cannot leave their post and listen to this all night long of the wounded now being eaten in the wheat field. So if you go to the wheat field, you say a prayer for those that are left behind and still reliving that. And that's why I cannot stomach people that just go in there and say, what was war like? What's it feel to be shot? Those are soldiers. Those are American soldiers, and they need to be helped. That's my thoughts.
So when I was there last weekend, there was people at Devil's Den, and they were like, they were letting their kids just run all over the rocks and having a great time. And there's this guy who's got a fake gun and just like pretending to shoot his kids. And I was like so pissed off. I was just so upset and I was so mad. I'm like, how can you be so disrespectful?
It is.
Oh.
We need to teach that back to
God. I just
to respect themselves too. Yeah,
when we were by the wheat field and going through the monuments and everything, there were also a lot of people who were very venerable and very
good.
Oh yeah,
we're super obsessed with the history. And I remember one guy was explaining to another guy like, oh yeah, the sniper was right there on that rock, and he got shot from right over there, and this guy had like all the ballistics down and all the angles to like everything. This guy was obsessed with the battle. You know, he was definitely passionate about it. You could see that too. Hey, Laura, remember that one guy at the bridge that was just kind of standing there the whole time?
Yeah, he was a little creepy.
Dude? Yeah. Yeah, I still think about that. I was like, what is that guy's deal? What was that about?
Now, hold on. Now, you guys saw somebody that was just standing. Explain this to me a little bit.
It was like a very haunted bridge. I remember. Could you explain to them the bridge?
It's the Eisenhower Bridge, the one they call the Suicide Bridge, but we don't really know like what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking to Pam about that, and then like Chad and Tim from Strange Familiars, they're kind of doing stuff there, and they don't really know what's there, but they know it's like bad. And I don't know, I get some kind of weird feeling there. But anyways, no, it was just some guy that was like just hanging out, standing there. Like, I don't know if he was waiting for like a drug deal or what, but it was weird. He was just chilling there. And
he was live though. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay. It was like
he was like
for
on
a
his
second,
cell
I was
phone.
questioning it until I saw him look at his phone, and I'm like, oh no, he's alive.
Okay.
If he hadn't been looking at his phone, I might have been questioning it.
Because guys, I can tell you, so many stories, especially Devil's Den. Sitting in Devil's Den, you turn to talk to somebody. It usually happens during reenactments, and I think that's not just because of the energy and everything getting stirred up and, triggering and things like that and, manifesting, but I think the energy alone helps them manifest. And it seems like there's so many stories, right, Steve, about guys turning around and thinking they're talking to a reenactor and turning back around, they're gone, right?
I know people that went to Gettysburg and they the same thing. They thought they were talking to a reenactor, and then they turn around and then the guy's like legs are like disappeared. Oh, nope. Yeah, I thought you froze for a second, but you're good now.
No, I thought you froze. We both froze. Froze. We're cold as ice, baby. Well, Donnie, listen, I went off on your thing, so I'm gonna look. I'm gonna mute my mic, and you tell us what you would like to tell us, because you mentioned Gettysburg, and I get a bee right up my bonnet. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I loved the place. I thought it was beautiful. I was surprised it was so close, but yeah, I guess I'll continue with my well. Again, this isn't really my story. It's my friend's story who I met while I was living in Korea. This was an American guy, Caucasian American, grew up in DC and got a job as an English teacher and moved over to South Korea without knowing much about the country. The company that he signs up for, they put him in an apartment and they pay the rent and everything. It's part of the contract. But the apartment was in a really dodgy part of Seoul. And so when he moves in, they have a couple Koreans help him move in. and he arrives at this apartment, and it is just a disheveled mess. There's like trash everywhere. Everything's run down. It was clear like the whole floor was littered with trash. So he and these two employees start clearing out the trash. He goes to the fridge and goes to move it, and behind the fridge he sees taped on the wall a yellow piece of paper with this really weird old Chinese writing on it. So without thinking about it, and he's new to Asia, he doesn't know anything about whatever about the culture. He just sees this paper, rips it off the wall. Right when he rips it off the wall, the two Korean employees walk in, they look at him, their faces go white, their jaws drop, and they just say to him, "You weren't supposed to do that." And then they proceed to like kind of look at each other and back out of the apartment very slowly. So my friend's like, he has no idea what's going on because he's American. He doesn't know any cultural context or clues. He had no idea what that yellow paper was. So he thinks nothing of it.
Uh-oh.
Turns out he cannot have a single person stay at his apartment because within 6 hours, 8 hours, they would just be waking up, packing their bags, and running out of his place. And he said it got to the point where it was affecting his social life. Interestingly enough, though, he himself did not have a single encounter, but it was just everyone who stayed there would just run out screaming.
Huh.
So this is according to him, according to his girlfriend at the time. The first night that they slept in the apartment together, she was sleeping on the bed on her back. So the way she was sleeping, she was facing the ceiling. She wakes up in the middle of the night, face to face with this old, angry-looking Korean man, inches in front of her face. Like his nose is like a couple inches away from her nose, right? Now, this is according to her, according to him. The guy was hanging down from the ceiling from his feet. And his body had elongated so that his face could get right up to hers. Another friend.
Stop it.
Naturally, that relationship did not last very long.
All right.
Another friend that was visiting.
Wait, Donnie, can you just go back and repeat that part again because it was just really good? Just do it one more time.
I heard
it's
it.
Halloween. It's Halloween. That just creeped me right out. So do it again. Do it again. Go
So
ahead.
she wakes up with this old man, angry old man, old Korean man's face. She was Korean herself, by the way. Like a couple inches away from her, like almost nose to nose. And then when she kind of looks around and see what's going on, she sees that he's hanging down from the ceiling. And this is not a low ceiling. You know, it's I'd say it's like 9-10 feet. But he's like elongated so that his face is right up next to hers.
Oh. Okay. I'm sorry. I just had to hear that again. I mean, every once in a while, right, Steve, you hear something that just like you thought you heard it all.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And
but I do like the part about no guest being able to stay more than 6 or 8 hours.
So one of his other friends visits him from the States, comes in from the airport, puts down his bags, sits down on the couch, pours himself a drink, puts on the TV. Now he's in the living room in front of the TV. We're like opposite ends of the room. Above the TV, there's like a clock. The clock flies horizontally across the room and hits him square in the chest. He just proceeds to get up, grab his bags. He's like, "I'm getting a hotel, buddy."
Where's the nearest hotel?
Yeah. So this place was that
my
bad.
goodness.
So
I think it's the creepy things. I think it's also the creepy things that. Well, how would you explain that, Steve, Laura? That are doing. Oh, what's the words? You're doing things that aren't in the norm for a human to you know what I mean, to do. Like this long thing hanging from the ceiling. We're not supposed to be able to do that. Or you see somebody levitate and just floating across the room. It freaks you out. Obviously.
Like in The Exorcist, where Linda Blair did the spider walk thing down the stairs.
The crab
like
thing.
That. Yeah.
Oh, down the stairs. Oh, yeah. See?
I mean, if I'd been a priest, whatever, I'm out of here.
I'm good.
Good luck.
Like,
Here's
Jesus
some holy
wept.
water. Dominus Ominous should be all right. I'll see you later.
Jesus wept. You're on your own.
When he's explaining to this story to me, though, he's asking me like, Donnie, I mean, you're Korean. You grew up with Korean parents. You speak Korean. Do you know anything about this yellow paper with this old Chinese writing? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I grew up Presbyterian. You know, I don't know about like the deep-seated cultural shamanistic stuff. Because there is a form of Korean shamanism, which is kind of similar to voodoo and Santeria. But yeah, I was like, I don't know anything about that. So then one day I was teaching my class, and my class was a classroom full of like business people, housewives, college students. And I'm telling them this ghost story after class. And I asked them, hey, do you guys know about the yellow paper? And they all told me, wait, he ripped the yellow paper from the wall. He wasn't supposed to do that. Like everyone in the room. As soon as I mentioned that he ripped the paper off the wall, there's a room full of like 20 Korean adults. They all gasped. They were like, oh, he wasn't supposed to do that. And I'm like, wait, I'm Korean too. How come I don't know about this? Am I being like, is there like a secret level of Korean culture that I was not privy to? I mean, what's going on here? And so the whole classroom proceeds to take out their wallets, and they all take out a yellow piece of paper with this old.
Shut up.
And I'm like, what is going on right now, right? And
you're kidding me right now, right?
No, you must have been absent that day, Donnie.
So I'm like, wait, but I asked them, so what's going on? They explained to us. The yellow paper in their wallets was for things like success or doing well academically. They're like good luck charms, or like maybe find a guy, you know, find someone to get married. That's why they kept them in there. But they said like the same shamans who would make those for people and sell them and, you know, do them for money. They also had those. I mean, I kind of learned a bit more about shamanism and the way they handle it, but basically those are kind of like the Asian version of runes.
Okay.
And those words, it's from an ancient version of Chinese that doesn't exist anymore. Like people don't speak it. This is like going way back, and it was like, kind of like a lot with
Aramaic or Sumerian or, you know, something like that.
Chinese. It was like an old form of Chinese. So yeah, I guess the main reason why I wanted to share this story is because I feel like there aren't that many paranormal stories coming out of Asia, or at least people aren't aware of them. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on there.
They're hardcore.
A heck of a lot of stuff. I spent a year in Southeast Asia, most of that in the Philippines, and it wasn't unusual there on the evening news. They would show a possession at a girls' school. There's like a camera, you know,
on a Monday,
on the scene, and there's a girl rolling around on the ground in the classroom while the other kids are staring, looking at her.
It's Monday.
And it was a slow news day.
I know in the Philippines, they would take demonically possessed people and bring them on like public talk shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Jerry Springer type show, but it was like they would just bring up different demonically possessed people.
Crazy.
And they would just have them like Oprah style, and they would just be like, "Hey, watch this person be all demonically possessed and flip out on national TV." It's really crazy. If you want to take a dark dive and watch some of those clips, I mean, the Filipinos love to putting that on their TV stations for some reason.
I just want to check. I'm so sorry. I saw Andrew hiding. Guys, if you could see the screen, every time somebody comes in, they're hiding under, and I just wanted to see if he was able to hear before we finished here.
Yeah,
okay.
But
I can't
think
see
that
him.
was it for me.
No, go ahead, Donnie.
And I'm really grateful. No, I mean that was it. I just wanted to share the story, but that was.
I think it's a fantastic story, and I think Andrew's poking around in there. Stay with us, Donnie, unless you have to go. Do you have to go?
Connor was in here too.
Oh, could you stay?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll stay.
Hang out with us. Go ahead, Steve.
I think Sandy's here somewhere too, waiting to come on.
Okay, I got Andrew's here. I can get Andrew in here. It looks like he's going again. Go ahead.
Is Connor in?
Melissa Nicole, Ivy Gold, Divine Diamond.
Hi, Ivy. Hi, Melissa.
Thank you, ladies, for all coming by.
Daryl. Hey, Daryl.
Daryl Fawcett. Yeah.
Somebody throw Daryl some bacon.
A lot of my crew here. Be sure and subscribe to Cisco's channel as long as you're here. You won't regret it. We're here live every Monday night.
Andrew, can you hear us, my love?
That was great, Donnie. Thank you.
Yes, stay with us, Donnie. Donnie's staying because.
I'll be hanging out.
Thank you, honey. Go ahead, Andrew. We got you, sweetie. Go ahead and say it.
Hey guys, happy birthday, Steve and Mulder.
Andrew, we appreciate that. Mulder's
Happy Halloween.
Yep.
Took me a little bit to fight to get back in here, but I'm back.
Awesome. Well, you go right ahead. We don't want to lose you. Donnie's staying with us. Laura's here. I don't know what you guys can see. What's going on? I don't know what's going on.
Andrew looks like he's on the road somewhere.
Yeah, tell us. Thank you, Jackie. Go ahead.
I'm home. I've been running a local route till they find somebody around Thanksgiving, so I'm home every night now in Omaha. So.
Oh, well, that's good. I guess if you like being home.
I just run out to Lexington and back each day, so I work 6 days a week, and then I'm off on Sunday, and I go back Monday, so I can get a 34-hour reset in.
That's manageable, yeah.
Are you a trucker?
Yes.
Are you now?
Yeah, I've been over the road for the last 9 years.
Oh, wow, that's
He's
super.
got some good trucker ghost stories, too.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to back up, but I just got to say, that's what I did in the Army. So I was recognizing what you're saying. I was just feeling it. I was like, man, he's a trucker, too. I didn't get my CDL when I came out, but I should have. I should have gone out on the road. But then we might not be here tonight, so take it away. You got a story for us? Let us have it.
I got quite a few. Yeah, you guys really touched up a lot of stuff that when I heard you guys talking about Gettysburg, there's actual footage on YouTube, but I don't know where it's at, where I actually seen the ghost cannon squad. You could actually see the ghost cannons firing at Gettysburg. I'd have to go back and find it, but I was looking at it recently on another channel. It was pretty interesting. A lot of these battlefields, like Steve mentioned, the Philippines, a lot of stuff where they battled the Japanese. I even heard stories far-fetched as stuff still happening, ghost stories from Vietnam. Now, the movie We Were Soldiers was actually based on a true event by Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore, Sergeant Major Basil Plumley, and 400 U.S. Army men went against a VC battalion of 5,000. 234 were killed in 3 days, 100 wounded, and that actually did happen. I heard stories of some hauntings, but yeah, that was kind of disrespectful what happened in Gettysburg. I remember me and my dad were big when I was real little. We would always watch Unsolved Mysteries, and I still remember that clip of those two reenactors taking a break, and that guy walked up to him and handed them 2 live rounds.
Yes. Go ahead. Speak it, Andrew. Yes, I remember this. Go ahead.
And they went to turn around and say something, and he was gone. And the guys, the reenactors, I remember said somebody to some of the staff there at Gettysburg, said, hey, there was this guy passing around this stuff. And according to what I heard, and if I remember, I'm 45, and I was probably 5 or 6 or 7 years old watching this with my old man, he's no longer with us, but I got his picture and my name.
God bless him.
The staff answered, nobody has given out live rounds since the Civil War. And that's just flabbergasting.
It absolutely is. I know exactly the story you're talking about. Steve and I have talked about it many a time. Steve can back you up, and so can I on this story. Absolutely. Steve, you recall, don't you?
You probably know the details to it better than I do, but I remember us talking about it.
Mm-hmm. It's an amazing story, and this is exactly what we're saying, Donnie. You must have read our mind, because we were talking earlier about, they pop up in Devil's Den a lot. I think it has to do a lot with the rock there, but this absolutely happened. I believe it. There's other stories. You walk around downtown and start talking to some of the people that run the museums there and some of the great folk that live there all the time, and you'll hear some of these stories, and it's one after the other after the other. It's an amazing. They even took it and had the the casing, everything looked at, and they said that this was rounds from that era, not just a replica of.
It was actual rounds. That's just so amazing.
Mind blown. Absolutely.
Yeah, how does that happen? I don't even.
Well,
I don't know either.
It's like apporting.
It had to be like an apport or something.
Right.
Yeah,
well, where do the things go? You see what I'm saying? When something is apported away, it has to go somewhere. Does it then show up?
You lost your car keys or your sock in the dryer or the remote in the couch.
Where does it
never
go?
Goes back up. Back then, they probably lost some ammo, and then 100 and something years later, just goes back up.
Exactly. There's so many miracles and so many wonders like this that have to do with Gettysburg, and I think it's not like there's more there than other places like Antietam and Fredericksburg and Chambersburg or Vietnam or the Middle East, really. But it's something about, we've talked about the feeling, Steve. We've talked about brother against brother. We've talked about the anguish of very well portrayed in the movie Gettysburg.
There's just something
from the
about
book.
Those Civil War battlefields. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been to
Laura brought it
World
up
War I and II battlefields.
Hold
I've
on,
been to like Korean War,
Hang
Vietnam,
on, Donnie, one sec.
Sorry.
all
No,
those
it's okay.
places, and it does not have the same feeling. I mean, it's bad. You can feel stuff there,
Right.
but the Civil War battlefields, all of them,
Same as the Revolutionary.
some of them were worse, like Chickamauga and places like that. Sorry, Andrew, didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, please.
And it was Donnie, and I
was
didn't.
interrupting.
Oh, okay.
The only reason I said something is I know Steve's got a delay too, and he couldn't hear you like I
Yeah, I
did,
was
Donnie.
already
That's why I was
talking,
saying.
and then I realized I'm talking over somebody.
It's okay. Please go,
And,
Donnie.
I must apologize because my connection kind of sucks.
It's okay. No, you're loud and clear, man. You're loud and clear. What did you want to say about this?
I
Because
just
it's such an
remembered
interesting.
Laura brought something up to me while we were there. That there's something very unique about that land too. I think it's the fact that battle happened on that particular piece of land is kind of what makes it such a hot spot. Because I didn't realize there was all this quartz all over the place. Yeah, and you were pointing that out to me. You were just like, "See, here's a piece of quartz. There's a piece of quartz." It was just like all over the riverbeds. I was like, "Whoa." I didn't know quartz was like so easy to find like that. And
all
yeah,
through
the plates.
Pennsylvania.
That place like looks magical. Like there are parts of Gettysburg that kind of look like the Shire.
Yes, true. And I think there's been a thing there too. It's like Lincoln himself said, it's hallowed ground, and nothing we can do or say here today can add or detract from that. They've already done it. It's already done. And, what the townspeople went through too. And I think that's something else when you go to Gettysburg. It's a lot about the townspeople and a lot about the things that went on there and who was in the battles and, people that were pushed out of their houses, or did they hide in the cellar, or, excuse me, what was their story? And you get a lot of that there too. One of the first things you hear, little joke, they back and forth it. If you hear it once, you hear it, 5-6 times a week. It's like, where's the battle? You're standing in it, because it was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. So that was an amazing bring, Andrew. And I can't tell you how great it is to start meeting everybody, putting faces with the names or icons with the voices at least. And that's wonderful. Listen, can you guys stay just a second? And I think I've got hang on 1 second. One more video. I hate to not show these because me and Laura have been tortured. Show the damn video, right, Laura?
You need to know. You work so hard on them. You need to show them.
Digging. One more damn. I'm telling you. Downey, I'm watching commercials. Hold on. Let me explain to the chat. So I'm watching commercials. Now, keep in mind, I dig nostalgia, and I'm like, I yearn for the Waltons. We just got to get back. You know what I'm saying? Bring everybody in the house. I'll trade you a chicken. You change my oil. Somebody gets a casserole. Everybody chills. It's just nice. Anyway, But the kind of nostalgia when you're looking and the mom's in the kitchen, hair's done, makeup's on, dress on, high heels. Now I remember women in my family that did this. I can remember this. And the husband walks in and he goes, honey, this shirt is so soft. I can drive. The car will be so simple to drive now because my shirt is soft. You're amazing. And then he leaves. Then the daughter comes in. Mom, my sweater doesn't cling anymore. You're great, Mom. And then the son comes in and she just smiles and she's ironing and I'm going. And it's not one, it's like 2 or 3. But you think about it. In a lot of ways, it was better, wasn't it? Because you had parents home, you had people that loved you, or you had a reasonable facsimile thereof. Like, remember my 3 sons? That was an odd family. They had Uncle Charlie.
Yeah,
and the dad went to work and had Uncle Charlie.
Elderly relative would stay with you, grandmother or uncle or somebody like that.
Right. Everybody pitched in. And I think that's just how, I just really think that something's going to happen. Maybe, we're all good sticking together, and I think that's what happens in this chat. That's what happens on this show, and I know a lot of shows say that, and it is just as true for those shows that say that. But each chat's different, and the subjects are different. You know what I mean? And this particular group, like I said, I've had 3 mediums that have been on this show that each one has said, and well, I was going to say they don't know the other one said it, but if they're mediums, they might. So, but anyway, that this is the most positive energy chat they've ever been involved with. Like, one way or another, they said just that. So, anyway, where'd Laura go? She's here. You're here, right, Laura? Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, my cat was outside all day today, and he jumped up on my lap.
Bless him.
Tick right on his face.
He did what?
He had a tick right on his cheek. I had to pull
my
it out.
God. You got to fix that. Well, listen, I'm going to play 2 videos because, like Laura said, we've been working on this for 2 weeks. I didn't want to hit you guys with an hour worth of 1960s commercials, but we broke up some stuff. But there's a couple that I really liked a lot. And the next one, really, the reason I brought up the Waltons and all that stuff and the togetherness and community and families helping each other out, you really see that in some of these commercials. And I know it's odd, but the first one that's going to play, the song, and I know it probably makes Steve, really flash
That's what
back.
I've got in mind for my compound in the mountains. Once I get that set up, I want everybody to come and stay with me.
Well, that's where I'm going.
You don't have to pay any rent, but you can help out. You can cook, you can clean, you can do chores.
I stand right here. I know herbs. I can heal your broken leg. I can chop wood. I know how to build I can build a cabin real quick out of a log cabin, all this other stuff. Everybody has something. What do you do? I'm a floral designer. I'm this. I'm not a cook.
Your abilities.
I'm not a cook.
And then everybody can pitch in on the YouTube videos and the filmmaking and the sound design, and all the other stuff.
Trade. Trading, those that can.
Bartering. Love it.
All that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. I'll do it in a heartbeat. I have a shop. I've already got all the dream catchers and jewelry, and we can open up a ghost tour. Anywhere you go, you could open a ghost tour because there's always history where you're standing. As
soon as I get my compound set up, everybody come on over. You got a place to stay.
All right, everybody. Here we go. Let's a commercial break brought to you by the Birthday Boy in 1963. Enjoy what we had to watch on the big Zenith, or if you were poor folk, you watched the black and white TV on the Zenith, the little one that sat on top of the Zenith, and the Zenith didn't work, but you kept it because it was furniture. Right, Steve?
Yep.
Who remembers? There you go. Memories, huh?
Yeah, indeed. I remember that. I remember the first time going trick or treating. First time I ever remember going, I think I was probably 4 or 5, and I went as a witch, and I borrowed a dress from one of my mom's friends, and nobody knew it was me because I had on a wig and a mask and a dress. And who's this little girl? But it was me. So.
Memory lane.
Adventures in drag, I guess, but that was
$1.98. $1.98 for the plastic mask and the tunic that you would put over it. Would have a picture of what the mask was, so everybody would know that was what you were supposed to be.
Because they didn't look that much like them. Sometimes Ben Cooper was the company that made those Halloween costumes.
Boy, I heard that a lot.
By Woolworths, by the stacks. It seems like they had a couple different sizes. Maybe one for the very small kids,
and they were in the box with the cellophane. Mm-hmm. Is everybody in the chat remember that? Everybody's in here saying, wow. Yeah, the memories. That's right. I mean, if you went out and you picked, you had to look through stacks and stacks of boxes for the mask you wanted, and they smelled funny, and the eyes were hard to see through.
And those little the elastic bands would come off, and you'd have to emergency tie it back on, Halloween night. Or do what I do and go out and play in it before Halloween. By the time trick-or-treating, it was ruined and had to get another one.
Yep. Divine says pillowcases full of candy. Amen. Yep. I mean, my pillowcase would be dragging in the road. Do we get dirty on the bottom?
We'd take a pillowcase and stash it in the bushes. And then you go up with one of those little buckets and they just have 2 or 3 pieces of candy in it. Oh, bless you. Here's a couple handfuls for you. Then you take that back and dump it in the pillowcase you had to carry over your shoulders.
Daryl says those hideous, oh, wait a minute, I lost it there. Hold on. Those hideous little plastic masks, yeah. That was it. And it had the rubber band in the back. The little white rubber band thing. I think we lost Donnie. I'm sorry. I don't know how we lost Donnie. I hope I didn't do it. Donnie, I'm sorry. But thank you so much for being here. If you popped out, that's cool. But if I did it, I apologize. Okay, we got one more. Man, guys, we've been going on 2 hours, but I got to get this one in. You ready for one more? Here's some more memories, guys. Now, this was commercials. I picked a few
let's do it.
That Steve and I have talked a little bit about along the years and the shows. So I wanted to say, this has been awesome. But the real reason I put this together was for Steve, for his birthday, and the friendship we've had over these years has been a trip. And we've gone down more dark hallways and more dark cellars and more dark closets and other people's closets and everything else together. And I couldn't do it with anybody better, my friend. So happy birthday. Here's another trip.
Wherever wheels are turning, no matter what the load, the name that's known is Firestone. Where the rubber
it's like it touches your heart.
Yeah, it's just like there's a sadness almost in there.
I want these tires, man.
Driver and the real old pro, for a jet to land or a lawn to mow, or moving mountains or for stalking geese, following a golf ball or keeping the peace. Wherever wheels are turning, no matter what the load, the name that's known is Firestone. Where the rubber meets the road.
Firestone, your symbol of...
Easy bake, fast as you can. Mix 'em up, pour 'em in the pan. Slide 'em in, let 'em bake now. Slide 'em in,
Mellow, baby.
Wow! Only Kenner's Easy Bake Oven Set makes such delicious cakes, cookies, candy, brownies, pizza, pies, and biscuits. It bakes like magic with 2 ordinary light bulbs and has a special cooling chamber. Easy Bake by Kenner.
Far out, man. My absolute favorite. Pay close attention to this one, chat.
Now that was high tech when you didn't need a can opener anymore for your beer.
That's true. It's the first one. Watch what happens. And that's a bummer. Get down, chat. It gets better. Happy birthday, Steve!
Thank you. Not just cornflakes, but country cornflakes. Thank you. Hey, there's 9 Lives of Sandy in the chat. Been looking for you, Sandy. She's my new co-host over on the 13 Past Midnight.
I heard a pop.
At midnight
Is there
show.
Somebody in here? Oh, Donnie's back. Come on
Sandy,
back, Donnie.
you gonna come in and say hi?
Donnie, is that you back?
You guys
all
hear me
right,
okay?
baby.
Yeah, my internet's stupid again.
It's okay. Did you get to see the videos?
I did.
Awesome.
I was just thinking that you know, when I was a kid, I used to get nightmares pretty frequently. And I remember when I would wake up, one of the things that would get me out of the sheer sense of terror was that I would start singing like nostalgic jingles or like children's theme songs that I used to watch as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember my go-to was like the DuckTales theme song or the Muppet Babies theme song. Like as soon as I wake up from a nightmare, like it was just like this sheer, I don't know, like for people who don't get nightmares like that, it's like someone just like injecting terror straight into your brain. So the only thing you can do to kind of cope with the situation at hand is just to put your brain in a place of like nostalgic glee. You know, try to bring your place to go to your happy place, like when you were a little kid. I don't know if you can relate to that at all. Have you ever like used nostalgia to kind of like defend yourself or shield yourself against like
Yeah, I think so. And you know what, Donnie, that just reminded me of it, and I don't, sound odd, but we just spent a lot of time with us in the chat when we went through Cabin 22. And if you remember, Tater would, to calm himself down, he would just count. And Tater's basically, Steve and I have talked about this, more like a Hoss from Bonanza and Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, kind of combined. And he would count, but he would count like 1, 2, 3.
You slipped right into character there. That was perfect.
But that's Tater. But he would do that and sings, and I think there was somebody else who sang a song too that kind of took him back. But yeah, exactly, and that's the first thing that popped into my head. But yeah, people do that.
Cisco, I wasn't able to follow the Cabin 22 story because
Shame
a little
on
bit
you.
new to your channel. But my question is
you're not that new.
Is Tater inspired from like anyone you knew, like personally?
Tater is basically.
Because I keep hearing about him, so I feel like I get a sense of who he was.
Well, I do too. And you know, Donnie, it's weird because if there's ever look, the weirdest things that happen with this channel and Steve and I are it's so funny because it's so on the surface. This is all in between, like, you know, pictures falling off of walls, electric going out, vases sliding off of tables, knocks on the door. But some of the deepest, weirdest thing, like probably Cool Breeze, you know, that dream that you had, and we had to go back and save a stranger, and it took people in different states all coming together to save this man, and we don't even know his real name, but that was huge. And you know,
making Titanic.
I
was just thinking that
the iceberg coming down. But you had asked me, I lost my train of thought. What was your question again? I'm sorry, it's just real. It was like, wait a minute, where was I going?
If Tater was inspired from anyone you knew personally.
Thank you so much. Okay. Train's back. So the characters wrote themselves, and I Steve is my witness.
You were channeling, you were automatic writing or something, because sometimes you didn't even know what was going to happen.
No.
And the next day you're like,
no,
I've got the next part done, and I'm like, what? And you're like,
and I wrote that. I would write like a full chapter in like 4 hours. It was like some of it was in like one sitting, just start to go, and I had no idea where they were going. And then I'd read it back to Steve, I'd wake him up, or, you know, tell him, because we're on such different timelines. And I'd say, Steve, you got to listen to this. And we're listening together, and I'm, you know, narrating it, and I'm going, my God, did I write that? These characters, somebody took over. Somebody was here whispering in my ear that it's my hand to God, and Tater just came out of nowhere. And like I said, he was kind of in my mind's eye as I was describing him, and as his vocal came a little bit from Hoss, I forget the actor's name, who played in Bonanza, and basically Eeyore, Dan Blocker, thank you, and Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, absolutely, you know, and you know, just like even, you know, Mrs. McGee and people like that, I can see her in the blue dress and the curly hair and
just the way
glasses,
they talk, as if they had their own.
It's weird. I can't explain it.
Words,
so Cisco, the way you describe how these characters write themselves actually reminds me of my personal favorite ghost paranormal story of all time.
Go ahead.
And I'd like to share it, but here's the caveat, though. I'm not sure if it's true, because I don't remember where I heard it. I remember reading it on the internet, and it's one of those stories that, man, I wish this was true, but I just have no way of confirming this either way.
I'd like to hear it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the chat would too.
Are you familiar at all with Robert E. Howard? He's the man who wrote Conan the Barbarian.
Okay, no, I'm going to say no.
Back in the 30s. He was
E. Howard Hunt, yes, but...
Okay, so I don't know how familiar you are with the character of Conan the Barbarian, but Robert E. Howard apparently would say that when he was living in his house in Texas, he would frequently be visited by a shadow person that would terrorize him all throughout his childhood and his life. And then one day, you know, in order to appease it, because he felt like it was going to kill him, and he was like, listen, I'll do whatever you want. And it basically told him in his head, I want you to write my story. And so he got on his typewriter and he wrote out Conan the Barbarian. And what does it say in Conan the Barbarian? Like the first thing they say if you watch the movie, Conan was from a time from after Atlantis sank, before the rise of the Sons of Arya, which is essentially the Bronze Age, Sumerian age. So he's a man who comes from a time from after the sinking of Atlantis to before the Sumerians, and he was basically appearing as a shadow person, threatening Robert E. Howard to write his story, because if you don't, you know, he's gonna kill him. So when people say, like, when people ask Robert E. Howard, where did you come up with Conan the Barbarian? His response was typically, Conan he wrote himself, and he basically threatened to kill me if I didn't write his story.
Wow. There's so many things. I mean, there's the Dickens story about, all of that. And, there's another story, I forget who it is now, that basically wrote an entire novel that way. I can't tell you. I don't know.
Rodney Murphy, wasn't that the one where...
Yep.
So the way you were talking about
that whole
characters,
series of
definitely
novels,
reminded me of like what Robert E. Howard went through when he was writing Conan.
Yeah.
Because that character pretty much wrote himself.
I don't remember anybody threatening me, but I'll tell you what, me and Skeet, we did some rolling around this dining room, because the way Skeet was, it was very, Steve said it best, it was like Moby Dick, because he was so obsessed with the rat. And the rat won, old Buck won in the end. He got his ear. When that ear comes sliding down, and it's, you got to picture this, you've got the deputies, and you got poor Dave is just there for vacation, and he just wound up in this, and he's like a deputy, him and Joe Parker got along real good, and they're all in this cave, and they're just shining the beam around. They still got fires. You got old Bubba still, with the fire extinguisher putting out the little flames going on, and they catch in the beam this ear sliding down this centerfold of, I think it was Farrah Fawcett. And it's sliding down, and then they watch it slide off and fall onto the floor and leave a trail of blood behind. And then all of a sudden, this big rat, they don't know from Adam, comes out from nowhere, old Buck, with one ear missing, and grabbed that ear and ran down the the cave and out the cave, man, and the rat won in the end, because Skeet was enjoying killing those rats a little too much. You ever known somebody like that? It's like, if you got to kill some, you do it, but they enjoy it too much.
There's some dogs like
that. There's a little evil. There's a little evil in that person,
Yeah, we had this guy that would work with us for a while. He doesn't work with us anymore on the sawmill, but he'd say how he enjoyed slaughtering chickens. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Right.
Like, dude, what?
I've known some tough old birds, man. No pun intended with the chicken, but I've known some old ladies that, you know what I mean? They just sit there and pet a goat. Now, I hate to say this, and I certainly don't want to get on a cruelty to animals thing, but they just pet the goat, and then all of a sudden just slap. And whoa, what did you just do? Just cut that goat's throat. I mean, yeah, I know farms and all that, but I was never really good at being a farm girl. I had this lady that we were helping to take care of, and she made me to go get her. She had a big old 44 in a sock drawer, and she got the 44 in the walker. God bless this woman, made it all the way to the pig barn, and she just picks that thing up and just steadied it with both hands, and boom, and shot that hog, and I just about lost it. I think I blacked out. I was like, oh my God, because you're a kid, you don't know what these people are doing. I don't know what she's doing. She's not saying anything because she was stoic about it.
My dad's grandmother,
she give you a warning about it?
No, hell no.
My dad's grandmother could wring a chicken's neck, the head completely off with one hand. She'd just pick the chicken up, and then she'd just kind of spin it around and give it a jerk, and the head would pop off. And the first time I saw that, I was like 5. I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to mess with her anymore. She'll pull my head off.
Okay, listen, I'm hearing popping.
My dad said when she was younger, she could do it with each hand.
We got another guest. Hold on. I want to get everybody in here. We're running on 2.5 hours, guys, so I'm going to get probably the last call. Yeah, but it's been nice. It's been just wonderful.
Been great.
So let's get 9 Lives in here. And hello, honey. How you doing, 9 Lives?
Hi,
nice
Sandy.
to meet you.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hello. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys.
It's so much fun.
Sandy's my new partner over on 13 Past Midnight for the Ghost Stories at Midnight.
How
She's
cool.
been sitting with me over there for over a week now. And
oh, wow.
A lot of fun. And then we've got some other stuff we're working on. Aside from that, got some new things coming on her channel, and then something we're going to be doing together that's probably going to be on a separate channel altogether. So watch for that. I want to get October out of the way and breathe for a couple of days in November, and then right back on it.
Right.
But go sub to her channel, 9 Lives of Sandy. You won't regret it.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure to meet you, and thank you so much for.
Thank you guys for having me. I've only got like just a few videos left over there. I privated like all of my personal videos, like my cats and stuff, because we're making some changes to that channel. So there's not much on there right now, but in the future there will be some really good stuff on there.
You got high hopes. You got high hopes.
Yeah,
Ooh, Halloween trivia, high hopes. Where? Let me ask the chat.
Amityville.
Oh shoot!
Sorry, I'm sorry.
That was the name of the house.
We'll come up with another one.
Sandy is a horror scream queen. There's probably not anything you could ask.
I will
that she
cover
wouldn't
my
know.
mouth this time.
I wasn't going to do that. That's a good idea for next Halloween or a second Halloween show bash. We'll do Halloween trivia and we'll just holler it out. But when you said high hopes, I couldn't help it because I've been looking into Amityville lately. But don't let me take your time. Did you call in? Did you have a story, or did you want to tell us this scary something? What's something a story that it kind of gave you the chills? You know, it doesn't have to be ghosts.
Oh, me. So probably my first experience that I ever had that scared the bejesus out of me was that my grandmother raised me. So I grew up I grew up in Buncombe County in North Carolina, so a little town called Woodfin. And she had a friend named Siovi, and Siovi, God bless her, had cancer, and she brought her friend Siovi to come live with her last days with her. And Siovi passed away in the house. And the night that Siovi passed away, the door to the bedroom where she had passed away wouldn't stay closed. So my grandmother had gotten up out of bed and took a tie for one of her robes and tied it closed. She got back into bed, and my aunt was on one side, then there was me, just little old thing, and my grandmother. And we laid in that bed, I'm not even kidding you guys, and watched that robe tie untie itself and the door come open. And about the fourth time it did it, none of us would get out of bed to tie it again. Nope. So that scared the hell out of me when I was a little girl, and I would never go in that room because
I can just see it.
I had like 2 accidents in that room, and I wasn't even trying to even be in the room.
Right.
One, I was wearing a pair of patent leather shoes, and I went sliding through my grandmother's bedroom, which was right next door to that room, and slid right into that room and hit a chest of drawers, and it blacked both my eyes.
No.
Ouch.
Then I was walking past the room one day, and one of the panels on the top of the door fell off and hit me in the top of the head. So I didn't want anything to do with that room. And then they finally got tired of all of the crazy that was happening in that house and burned it down and built another one. So.
Well, see, that just goes to show you that, you know, everybody that's come on here tonight is either heard of one or has a personal experience, or, you know, has another one. Oh, wait, 1 second here. We're going to bring in Patriot on. We're starting to wind down, folks. Patriot!
Look like the Brady Bunch here, or
I know.
Squares.
Patriot, can you hear me? We're going to bring in Patriot on. We're starting to wind down, folks. Okay, I'm getting a little feedback. So, everybody, like, if you're not talking, mute your mic. I just wanted to say a couple more things. A lot of people are leaving in the chat and having to go to bed. And good night to everybody. I didn't catch all the names. I'm sorry. It was going kind of fast. But if you're leaving us right now, thank you so much for coming in tonight, spending your Halloween with us. Or maybe it's starting to be night and you've got it ahead of you. Or maybe it was yesterday from around the world. It means a lot to me to have everybody pull together like this, to do something cool for Steve. He's given us so many nights of spooky stories and lore, and raised your imaginations and made you imagine things that were scarier than anybody could show you in a movie, because that's a talent and an art that if we don't keep listening and they don't keep narrating and reading these stories, it'll be lost. And that's something that's real important in Native American culture as well. So storytelling is huge, and Steve's one of the best I know.
Well,
and I thank him so much for listening to me when I pestered him and said you need a YouTube channel. And you should, because I listened to him and I wrote a book and then I wrote another one. And, it's wonderful to have people that come in and inspire others to do their best them. And it's really cool. And we're here tonight because you guys are in the chat. I don't thank you enough, mods. Thank you so much. Jackie, Grey Wolf, everybody that's out there. Laura, what was your kitty's name that popped up? I didn't get to see.
Oh, that's Mo.
Hi, Mo.
He's on the floor right now.
Happy Halloween, Mo. Everybody that came in here, let's try Patriot one more time. Can you hear us, Patriot?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Can you hear us? Are you with us? Give us a sign.
Yeah. It's been wonderful. I'm so glad you joined us. I'm going to give you the last few moments here. What did you want to say? Pleasure meeting you, by the way.
Yeah, my computer wasn't working, so I'm on my phone.
That's fine.
I live in a town called St. Augustine, Florida. It's like one of the scariest. It's like one of the most haunted places. If you've ever heard about St. Augustine.
Yeah, I think it's like the oldest town in Florida.
Yeah.
And well, I used to live in this place that's way deep down, like real dirt road, windy, hilly, ain't got no like city or anything around it. And it was like a double wide trailer with a screened-in porch and like a little tire swing out in the front yard. Had a little gazebo on the side. Pretty kind of like you could feel the energy, like kind of creepy. Like the wind would blow past and you could feel like chills and stuff sometimes. Well, my ex's daughter, she was like 7 years old one time. There was a nail on like one of the floorboards of the porch and it was coming up, so I was going to fix it. Well, I ended up pulling it up to replace it with a brand new board, but under there was like little kids' toys, kind of like a little tractor, a McDonald's toy and stuff. So I didn't think nothing of it. I just pulled it out, put the board back on. She started playing with it. Well, one night they were all gone and I was by myself in the trailer and I started hearing like big loud knocking. And I'm like, what is this? It's like 11, 12 at night, maybe 1 in the morning. And I was like, what is this? What's going on? So I keep hearing knocking. I think it's the people down the road because there was like a bunch of trailers and some old folks that lived around here, probably like for a long time. Same families in the same, all bloodline families in the same area, but it's like a swampy little area and there's like creepy woods all around and stuff. But so I go outside and I'm like, man, if this guy's drunk, knocking on the dang trailer trying to get in, would somebody just let this guy in, because I'm like, I'll just not think of it, even though it kind of felt weird. Well, I hear it pounding again. I'm like, what is this? Didn't think nothing of it. Finally, after about 30 minutes, it went away. They came back the next day, and their daughter in the other bedroom, she was about 13, was like, I keep hearing this knocking. I'm like, I was hearing some knocking too before, but thought it was somebody else. Well, she kept saying she kept hearing this knocking on the inside of her closet door. And I was like, there's something strange going on and didn't know what it was. So, I got my sage out and got stuff out, tried to cleanse the house a little bit, say a little prayer thing. Then all of a sudden, the next 2 days, she comes running in the bedroom about 1 or 2 in the morning, saying that those toys that her daughter had found under the porch board was like rolling across the bedroom floor. And she's freaking out, and I'm like, it's probably just maybe you were dreaming or something. I knew what it was, but just to try to get the edge off of them because they were freaking out. And next thing you know, next day, keep hearing knocking on the inside of the closet door, knocking on the inside of the closet door. Her daughter's freaking out. Her little 7-year-old runs into the bedroom and says, "Don't look outside. The witch is out there. The witch is out there." And I'm like, "Look, don't look out the window." And she's like holding her hair because she has this long red hair. And she's holding it kind of like a rope would be dangling from somebody's neck. And she's saying, "The witch is going to get you. The witch is going to get you. Don't look out the window." Well, I'm trying to calm them all down and everything. I'm like, y'all could sleep in the bedroom, whatever. And then after a while, nothing was happening. And then she comes in again and says the same thing like 4 days later. And at this time, my ex, she's acting weird. She's not acting like herself. She's like being really cold, like pale looking kind of sometimes, not talking, just being like off to herself and everything. And I'm like, there's something in this house. And she would be like, no, there isn't. I don't want to hear it. Like her whole attitude was changing. And next thing you know, the kids went off to their mom's house. And me and her started getting into an argument because she wouldn't believe anything. And we're in the living room, and there's like an opening where the couch kind of divides the living room and the kitchen. And we're arguing, and then we hear these like footsteps like running through by where we're standing, and the whole arm of the couch lifts up and slams on the ground. And she starts freaking out, and I start freaking out. I'm like, just calm down. We get into more and more arguing, just arguing.
Is she believing now when she saw it?
I think she does.
When they see it, sometimes people even see stuff and they don't.
In denial of it.
Right.
That didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. But do you see how it was doing though, Patriot? It likes to separate and get that aggravation between the people going. That's a what do you call it? A textbook case, right?
That's what I was gonna say. Did it make you argue? You think make you argue more?
Yeah, I think it was making us argue, and she would be like really offset, like down and low, and some days she would act like she was there but not there at the same time. So I think it was like kind of like getting to her, And at the same time during that argument,
yeah.
Oh no, he dropped out.
Yeah, I think he might have dropped out.
After it slammed the couch, like hit the stove,
and Edna said it's hard to believe your own eyes sometimes. I think he is popping in and out. Patriot, I think we might have lost you,
area where there was like a big adult hand in the concrete and a little kid's hand inside the adult's hand. And I don't know if it had something to do with those toys and a little kid, but after that we went.
Well, the toys that you found too.
Yeah.
There could have been an attachment to that too. Anytime something like that gets stirred up, everybody's got kitties. Hi, kitty. And
nice kitties.
Yeah. I'm surprised Mr. Dickens isn't out here tonight.
I thought I heard him for a minute. It must have been I don't know.
I don't know. He probably was. But yeah, man, it sounds like it's textbook. And I know Steve and I said we were going to wanted to have you on. That's why I'm trying to don't tell the whole story, because we're going to have Patriot on one Monday night, and he's going to come and tell us some of the different things that's going on with him.
Yeah, and you could feel the energies like outside, because one night we were out there and we heard a big like sounded like tree branches and stuff cracking, and right behind the gazebo there was like a big pile almost the size of the gazebo of branches like smashed down, like they were matted down, like something, and like I don't know, like I know it sounds crazy, but it sounds like something was like smashing them down like from the tops of the tree or something. It was weird. And the tire swing would swing sometimes by itself in the front yard with no wind or nothing. Like,
see, that's just creepy.
Do you think there's like Native American stuff on that land down there, maybe?
Well, a lot of the land around there was inhabited by Blackfoot.
What's that?
It's an Indian.
It's Native American.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking like my mind went to cryptid or something right away. Yeah, no.
If you walk in the woods, because we used to walk in the trails, you would feel weird stuff. Like
red
energies
stick
and stuff. Yeah.
Red stick. Creek.
Yep.
Yep.
And I ended up putting like protection.
I dated a red stick,
and then
a
it
Creek
stopped,
Indian once.
and we ended up getting out the house.
Just saying.
So,
oh.
But yeah, it was creepy. It happened a lot though, like around that house and around that area. It was weird.
Yeah, I didn't mean to make light of it or nothing, but you just said it, and my mind went back there a little bit because, you know.
Yeah, all those tribes are here.
I know a lot of really, you know, there's some people. I mean, you know, when you're trying to learn about the native way and stuff like that, an elder will spend time with you and teach you stuff. It's not just, you know, their time and, you know, all that. It's that they think you're a good place for the information to be held. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're not just telling you because you're interested or that you're even standing there listening. They picked you because they can read your energy and they know that you're going to do good with the information that they're giving you. It's an honor.
Otherwise,
it really
they're
is.
very reticent to talk.
Absolutely
they
true.
will just not talk about it if they don't think you're ready or if they just don't want to talk about it.
Absolutely true. And, you know, some of these people that I've met, you know, peppered through my life, you know, it's been an honor to listen to some of the things that they're saying, you know, and some of the supernatural things. I mean, even my grandmother telling me about what her way of telling me about Bigfoot was, and you know, that they're half here and half there. And you heard that, what was that title, Steve? It was a Cherokee culture keeper that told about how that they would put offerings out, you know, outside their perimeter as an offering, you know, just to the Bigfoot as in, you know, not just an offering, but an
awesome
honor.
Job. When you want to be the culture keeper, that's just...
Yeah, and have to tell to keep the traditions alive.
That's kind of what we are, though, when we go and tell these stories.
And we're telling these stories.
Instead of letting them die, we are the culture keepers of our families and our kinfolks and things like that. So I assume that mantle.
I've got quite a bit of Cherokee in my blood from my mom's side, so you could actually see it in her face and stuff. So
yeah, the cheekbones, man, the cheekbones. Mine look was kind of like that. Well, I'm telling you what, man. Listen, I don't want to cut anybody off or anything. A lot of people are getting sleepy in chat. I guess it's getting late in some of these places, and we've been here for 2.5 hours. It has been my absolute delight to put this on tonight and spend Halloween with you guys. I can't imagine another chat or people that came in tonight to wish. Oh, there's Mulder. Happy birthday, Mulder. Let's not forget it's his birthday too. And it's been absolutely wonderful. I'd like to thank everybody who called in, all the mods, and everybody in live chat tonight. It's been wonderful.
Thanks for having us on. Thank you for wishing us happy birthday. Thanks everybody for showing up. Cisco,
we love you,
Laura,
man.
Thank you for the cake and everything that was delivered today. Sitting on my porch at 8:30 this morning.
Yep.
Everybody, Andrew, all the other people that were on here, Gemma.
Thank you so much.
Sandy,
lives.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. I'll see you later tonight.
All right, sweetie. Thank you guys for having me on.
Happy
you
birthday,
can kick me out now.
Okay, good night. Good night. Thank you so much.
Bye.
He's ignoring everybody. He's like, just put me down. Good night, everybody. Thanks again. And then I'll still be going over on my channel 13 past midnight and be going live on and off over there throughout the night.
Steve's got more Halloween in him.
And
there he goes.
And then we'll see you tomorrow night, Monday night. Are we doing something this Monday night?
Yes, we are. We have Monday Madness tomorrow night. I'd like to thank Laura again for all the kind help she did help me put the show together. It takes a long time looking through and picking stuff out and putting things out, you know. But thanks
you did
again.
Most of the work, though.
Oh, but it's fun, you know. And tomorrow, I guess we got to come up with a title. Does anybody have any suggestions you want to see on Monday Madness tomorrow night, chat? Because we'll be here, you know. But if we'll always come up with something, what we see. Maybe we'll do ask me anything. Ask me anything paranormal or supernatural. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. And thanks to everybody in the chat for being here and for all the birthday wishes for Mulder and I. I love each and every one of you. Stock Knights and everybody else as well.
We're going to go out with 1923, I'm a Ghost. Good night, everybody. Happy Halloween. Be safe. Check your candy, whatever that means to you. I don't want to hear it. Happy Halloween.
I'm a ghost. And I'm after kids who fuss and fight and never wash their necks at night. Ooh, don't tie cans to a doggy's head. Ooh, I'll get you when the moon turns pale. I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm a snooky, ooky, spooky, wooky, eerie ghost.
I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Ooh, and I haunt all of the bad little boys who tell big fibs and break up toys. I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Ooh, and I'm after kids who fuss and fight and never say their prayers at night.
Ooh, we just finish every day. Ooh, or you can't go out and play.
I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Ooh, I'm a spooky, 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 eerie, really.
I love you, my brother. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Love you, chat.
Bye, everybody. Thanks again.
Good night.
Happy Halloween. Keep your feet under the covers. Keep your closet doors shut. Because there are things that go bump in the night.